Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
WBC.com. When I say I promise you, I'm gonna knock out the Gypsy King as well.
WBC Productions.
How am I gonna let this little skinny spaghetti hit my baby?
WBC.com.
Numbers don't lie, and I'm the number one guy. And I'm the dog with this.
When I stepped on the scene, I said I wanted this bro. I said I wanted that bro.
WBC.com.
You know, so I'm still on the mission.
I'm gonna chase his ass all the way up there.
I told him it's an easy fight to make.
Some of them like it, some of them don't. WBC.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. If you're joined alongside with us, you're on our backup channel at YouTube, Nestor Gibbs. That's YouTube.com/Nestor Gibbs or YouTube.com/Nestor Gibbs. As we've suffered another copyright strike. Yeah, man, they're after us. They're coming. They're coming, but they can't hold us back. Backup channel is alive and pumping. We're here to talk some boxing. Big headlines. Eddie Hearn says that the WBC has not ordered the rematch. And Wilder can still face Anthony Joshua, something that we all really want. Then we got to discuss, obviously, Vasiliy. Yeah, we're calling him Sealy now these days. You know, no more Vasyl. He changed that all over the internet. It's Vasiliy Lomachenko. Unifies with Jose Pedraza, who lasted longer than most thought. I mean, I did numerous shows trying to get you guys to convince me that this guy would go the decision. I said that he would. I said he was naturally bigger, and everyone convinced me otherwise. No, Ness, he'll get knocked down. I said, hey, what about the surgery? No, Ness, he'll get knocked down. Hey. Excuse me?
Fake news.
I don't know what he's talking about, but he wasn't here for the betting show, so he wouldn't know. But we got an upset. I mean, Dog Bay. Everybody's dog became everybody's bay, and now all of a sudden they are no longer friends. They're not in love with Mr. Ñejo. All that souping up, all that energy. And this guy from Mexicali, bro, let me not even say Mexicali, because that's actually a real place. I can't just call Mexico Mexicali because there's a real Mexicali out there. But this guy came out of nowhere, put hands all over poor Dog Bay. I mean, ended that reign so short. But we should have known. This guy was a Zanfer Promotions fighter. Same people that brought you Juan Manuel Marquez. Same people that brought you Miguel Roman. Same people that brought you Gilberto Ramirez. And now they brought you the new WBO champion. So, yeah, I mean, rest in peace. Ñejo. So then Kell Brook did not look as good as we expected. We know Michael Safada for losing to Peter Quillen, and we thought that Kell Brook was as special as his ring name is, or the ring name that he goes by. But I'm not going to say he didn't look good. He just didn't look as great as we expected. But there's tons of other news and notes to get to. Those are our four main hot button topics. If you're interested, you know the number to call in. It didn't change. 1-425-569-5241. Press one time right here on the Voice of the People hotline to get your opinion off, obviously. And don't forget to subscribe right here to the backup channel at youtube.com/Nestor Gibbs. And while you're jumping into the live stream, hit that thumbs up button as it helps with the visibility of the show. Let me go around the board.
I speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. Speak it, believe it, receive it. I can't say it enough. I speak it, believe it.
2 attempts, handed bands over. Sicko hit, shot and miss. 2 to stand over. Turn up. Breadwinner, huh? Look who in the building. Let me check my Instagram. I might be at 1 million. And I'm in.
WBC.com.
Yo, what's up, man? We're back here with another one. Lomachenko victorious last night. Dog fucking Bay. HBO had their final card last night, man. Salute to HBO, and that epilogue that they had at the end was really, really good. A lot of people I got emotional last night, man. Max, Jim Lampley, even the great Roy Jones Jr. So shout out to HBO, and shout out to Clarissa Shields. She was victorious, and Cecile Bracus, whatever I said name, she was victorious too. Also, Tank Davis. I was kind of happy he came out last night and sent like a little subliminal picture of him. But yeah, man, shout out Tank, man, letting the world know that if Loma want it, he can get it. But first, Mayweather Promotion got to let him fight. But we're gonna let it go to somebody else, and let's get into it.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
I've been doing this. I ain't been up and fell off. I've been through the Lennox Lewis era, the Nassim Hamed era, the Sugar Shane Moses era, the Oscar De La Hoya era, the Mark Anthony era. I've been through all the eras, and I still been telling you talk. You do too much talk. The thing is this:
people want their subjective preferences to be the objective reality.
HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
So January 21, 1973 to December 8th, 2018. Rest in peace, HBO Boxing. I'll definitely try not to make this super long-winded, but when I was a kid, every Saturday being around my family, I used to hear that saxophone played, and then you would hear those drums kick in, and you just knew that boxing was coming on. And, you know, I grew up at the time really watching live boxing with the Manny Pacquiaos, becoming the guy after beating Eric Morales and the Barreras, seeing James Toney, Roy Jones, Sugar Shane Mosley. I mean, Kelly Pavlik was a big thing when I was in Ohio for beating the undisputed Jermain Taylor. I mean, so many fights, so many champions. And, you know, with all good things, everything comes to an end. And as nostalgic and as much as we may potentially have this growing attachment to HBO boxing, we know we've seen better days from them. So to see them go out like that and encourage boxing to continue, it was a nice thing. So salute to HBO. As well, we had those fights. I am definitely going to eat a lot of crow for Dogboe, but also going to praise his opponent. Performed very well against, which I still think is a great fighter. But at this point, we have a new champion. So at this point, we also have comparisons now with Vasiliy Lomachenko, Tank Davis. Pedraza has mentioned his opinions between the two guys, as well as this lackluster potential fight between Kell Brook and Amir Khan. The fight is just not living up to what we wish or wanted it to be. But maybe that was just their performance of the night. But other than that, we'll talk about all the other fights as well. ESPN had the craziest knockout of the month or the year. Teofimo Lopez, my goodness. But other than that, let's just slow down and pass it on to my boy, Matt. What's up, Matt?
WBC production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it?
fuck that. Conor McGregor.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rope into a knockout. Now, when the main thing is, I just hope the guy. I wish.
ThaBoxingvoice.com.
Yes, hipsters here. Haters beware. And it was kind of a slow weekend. I'm not gonna lie. Kind of maybe anticlimactic in some ways. I mean, other than the Dogboe huge upset, which we're obviously going to talk about. Nessa's going to laugh at all of us probably because we're all so high on him. Other than that, I mean, everything was pretty much run of the mill. Like the HBO card was one-sided down the line, basically from Cecilia Brækhus, Juan Francisco Estrada to Clarissa Shields. Obviously, the Matchroom card on DAZN was kind of You know, Josh Kelly not being on it was, I think, a huge letdown. Anthony Fowler performed well, but other than that, like you said, Ines, Kell Brook sort of put on a flat performance. And for Top Rank, other than Teofimo Lopez, and like I said, Isaac Dogboe, the Loma fight was a little bit anticlimactic. I think people were expecting more of Loma. But unlike what Ness said, I called it. I said Pedraza was going to make it the full 12. Do you not remember the Thursday show, Ness? Come on, man.
No, I remember he you know, once or twice you said that a plus 220 was a good bet, but you in no way, you know, indicated like, yo, that's the sure bet. You know what I'm saying? You all, you know, on multiple occasions told me, yo, it's better to just put your money on the decision instead of the knockout, just in case. But you never said, you didn't even pick knockout. I mean, you didn't even pick decision like Thursday pick.
Yes, I did. I said I'm picking Loma by decision, but I could see Loma getting him out of there late. Obviously, you got the late 12th round knockdown, something like that. So close, but no, I picked decision.
I vouch
Well,
for Matt because me and Matt were definitely saying that. We were debating on
I don't
how
know.
our tank was hitting Pedraza to get him out. He literally had to swing for the fences. We were giving you hints. We were
And
explaining.
I don't want to say like, yo, bet the house on this, because then I have people angry on my mentions on Twitter. It's like, Matt, I lost the house because of you. So that's why I'm just like, it's good. It's a good bet. When I say it's a good bet,
all I'm saying is, man, you sure didn't reassure me. Is how that's all I can remember because I started the show saying like, yo, I think this guy's gonna go decision. He's taller, he's longer. And everybody was just making a case for the knockout. But look, it doesn't matter because, I mean, none of these fucking so-called A-sides even got the knockout, you know. Dogboe, oh, my God. Wow. I mean,
R.I.P.
I don't even know that dude's name, but...
Navarrete or some Navarrete, yeah, something like that.
Something like that, bro. But he took his time. You know, he didn't really even come on till the very end of the round. And even when he came on in that first round, I wasn't sure did he have it because he was a bit sloppy. You know, he was lunging in, he was chasing Dogboe, but man, this kid has some power in that left hook, and he throws it very wide. So you know, it was catching Dogboe on the way out. He was doubling it, you know, from the bottom to the top. It was just a really fun fight. I kept thinking Dogboe might turn it around. I remember late he landed a big right hand, and then it just didn't even do anything. And I'm like, wow, you know, he's fucked. His face was all, I mean, he looked like a little Berto. Remember when Berto fought Robert Guerrero? That's how poor little Niejo looked at, man. I'm just like, dang.
Are we starting on this fight? Because I don't mind starting on it.
Yeah, no, I think that we should start on ESPN only because, as their press release says, they had an historic night. This fight or this card actually did better numbers than what was already ESPN setting a record with Terrence Crawford and José Benavidez. Well, this one kicked in at a 1.4 meter rating, which I don't really know what that transitions to in millions of viewerships, but I'm sure Matt does. But like I said, we'll start here because they obviously did so well. And we expected this. You know, I mentioned it on last show where all these other sports fans should have. I said that this fight will be viewed directly after the Heisman Trophy winner or selector, or whatever the hell the proper phrase is. And sure enough, press release comes out that this fight is done well due to all those lingering football fans still watching ESPN after the Heisman whatever.
Yes, the Heisman Trophy ceremony. Quickly, the Nielsen rating, that 1.4 metered rating. What you do is that you times that by the number of households. So, or that's the percentage, I should say, of the number of households. So 1.4% of the number of households in the U.S. with TVs, basically. So that's roughly 114 million households. You time 1.4% of that is the number you get. That roughly give you the metered rating.
1.4 million? Damn.
It's going to be over 1.4 million. It's going to be more like 1.8, 1.9.
Yeah, I think it did it second. I think Crawford and Benavidez still beat that. So it came in second out of the events, which is still great.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's the thing. They're very cute in the way they word their headlines. It says highest rated fight on cable television only behind Crawford Benavidez. Okay.
And quickly more to the fight itself. I mean, obviously Emanuel Navarrete is just a talented boxer. He had a great jab. He had a great left hook. Great versatility. You know, just fantastic stuff. Somebody else want to
yeah.
I was like, run, it's just me? Am I echoing here?
No, you're not echoing.
Okay.
Matt,
everyone has been echoing though. Back.
It's just Matt. I mean, I thought it was something. Maybe you got to tune your mixer. You don't really. I don't hear an echo. I just hear it's more muffled than anything.
No, it's you know how it is with YouTube. Like YouTube,
it's
what's happening to Ron.
I don't know. I think it's only you at this moment, but
at this moment maybe, but it happens to everyone at different times. Ness, you've been doing this for how long? Come on,
homie. It's okay. No need to.
Because right now it sounds great, right?
Hey, so we talking about Lomachenko, right?
No, we're talking about Dogboe and Navarrete.
Yeah, we were still on Dogboe. I wouldn't go as far as Matt and say that the dude's a special or skilled boxer. I think I still seen sloppiness, you know, and it's time to bring up Wilder. If we're gonna talk about Wilder being sloppy, well, this guy is definitely sloppy. To say, oh, very skilled boxer in the same sentence with all those wild lunging, he was just running, he was crossing his back leg in front, like he was literally like chasing and throwing punches. Like, I mean, skill, that's weird, but I get it because he wasn't supposed to win. So we're gonna see things that we really didn't see. But what I seen was just a taller, longer guy that actually used his height and reach. He didn't really give it up. But he was getting Dogboe because he kept a good distance. Not that he was boxing with distance like a traditional boxer, but he used his range well. That left jab, he pumped it all night. He never stopped using the jab, and he never stopped doubling that left hook. And that's where he got success, because he was bringing it to the body, bringing it to the head, and consistent jab. And good footwork, to be honest with you. Like, was it sloppy? Yeah, but he moved. He never really, he didn't leave you any time to like sit still and you build up an offense, because he moved, turned, twisted, pivoted, moved. The guy got good stamina. Very active puncher, but I don't know about skill.
I think his lateral movement, I think his jab was pretty excellent. I think his counter right hand, his left hook was on point. It may not be, it may not be Lomachenko level of boxing skill, obviously, but compared to Dogboe, he was a highly skilled boxer. And to compare him to another Zanfer fighter, he reminds me of a Jose Uzcategui. And the way he would almost switch stances, but the way he would, use his rhythm, use his upper body movement to really work his combinations in. Huge performance for him, and also just a huge year for Zanfer Promotions. Like,
definitely. Because they got Munguia too.
They have Munguia, they have Emanuel Navarrete. I believe they have Jose Uzcategui as well, and I think they have Gilberto Ramirez in some
I believe they have Ramirez too.
Yeah, so, to piggyback real quick, obviously you notice there was a huge different height and size difference that obviously at that point showed that Dogboe had struggling moments there, which at that point showed that he was mortal. There was things that you saw that he couldn't adjust, and from that point, I think even at moments, he had opportunities he couldn't capitalize, and you got to give his opponent a little bit more credit, to the degree where I think even Timothy Bradley highlighted that immediately early on, he picked up an uppercut because he caught that Dogboe was leaning forward a lot. So when fighters tend to do that pretty often, uppercuts are available. So he was able to make those type of adjustments, move Dogboe around a lot. And you can see that there was kind of one-dimensional moments for Dogboe. So, a lot of it also you have to give credit to his opponent. And I think at this point we have to see where Dogboe goes and his opponent goes, because this could be overrated, underrated situation, but either or great performance.
To add some quick context to, and probably people are going to say excuses for Dogboe, but the stories that have come out of his training camp about him having really no sparring partners. He was sparring his uncles
and his father.
Whoa. I ain't heard this shit. Hold on.
Yes. He did not pay for a single sparring partner. He sparred
his brother, father, and uncle. Like, how do you spar your father?
So quickly, Dogboe, who's a former Olympian, get away from your dad, get away from your current situation, go find a legit world level gym and trainer, and you're going to see improvements. Because really, he gave up on the jab. He gave up on combinations very early. After the first round, there was an immediate shift in the tone and the momentum of the fight. Dogboe was landing good combinations, slipping shots in that first round. But Emanuel Navarrete landed some good combinations early in that second round, and everything changed. Dogboe was on the back foot. He didn't know how to react. He was getting just swarmed and outworked by a better fighter.
Yo, it was almost heartbreaking for me to watch him. Because, the walkout, no, all in the corner, no.
In the
face off when the ref is like, touch up, no. He's believing his own fucking hype till he gets punched in the face. Mike Tyson, for all the wrong and all the good that he's done, he will always be famous for that one line, dog. Everybody got a plan till they get punched in the face. That boy got punched in the face. Everything changed. All that confidence went smooth out the window.
Do you think he was believing in his own hype, considering the fact that
his father told him it was destiny, homie.
And he told him that from when he was born. So this guy's been growing up believing.
Dog sparring with deers.
Yo, he could have at least like went back to Ghana and like gave some, you know what I'm saying, pay like the people out there would be like, hell yeah, I'll spar you. You know what I'm saying? Give me like $100.
They'll give him a tougher fight than a
exactly. This nigga wanted to fight his uncles and dad and cousins and brothers and shit. Were they at least boxers like in their past life?
It don't matter. Like you can't be sparring your dad and your uncle. Okay, imagine Mayweather has no sparring except for Roger Mayweather and Floyd Mayweather Sr. Imagine that.
Yo. Anybody that's seen Floyd get it in with little what was Zelenov knows Floyd got them hands, B.
Yo, come on. This is ridiculous. Dogboe believed in his own hype. He got checked, and hopefully he learns from that. He's a young guy, very young. I think he's only in his like early 20s, I want to say, like 24, 25. So he has plenty of time to change up and adapt to this new game.
I just want to say this. I get a lot of shit for not paying attention to the lower weights, but this is how sad the division is. That Dogboe comes out of nowhere, wins the title from a known name in Magdaleno. He's a tune-up. The tune-up wins the title, and then the tune-up gets a tune-up, and he loses the title. I mean, that's how whack the division is, bro. Like, who are we looking up for? Like, who are we looking forward to? Like, if Dogboe wouldn't have gotten upset, who was he supposed to fight?
Ray Vargas, Daniel Roman.
He was supposed to be Unifies. But to be fair, the opponent, he wasn't ranked in all the other sanctioned bodies, but he was ranked number 2 in the sanctioned bodies.
Ooh. Yesterday's opponent?
Yeah.
Yeah, dog. But look, when you're Zanford top rank, like you always got your fighters ranked high in the WBO. That's no surprise.
But look, it was
Where are you? Where are thou, you, Salcido?
But look, he's like Munguia, though, is he not? Like
exactly.
he turned out to be good.
Where are you, thou Jesse Hart?
Jesse Hart, good. Don't hate on my boy Jesse Hart, man.
And I'm just saying, Top Rank keeps their fighters highly ranked in the WBO.
Of course they do. We know that. We all know that. But besides, Emanuel Navarrete proved to be a top 10 guy. He proved to be a top 5 guy easily.
Who's this? Navarrete?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, so he proved to be a top. And look, and we don't have to argue. I'm just gonna throw this out. We don't have to argue, but like he proved to be a top 10 guy over a guy that may or may not be a fluke.
That's where we have to look at. Where they go after.
If you look at his amateur career and the win over Jesse, to say that's a fluke, I think is wrong. I think he met a guy that's undefeated that we just didn't know about, which happens all the time.
I mean, it sounds like the Jeff Holmes story to me. Like you win the fight over Pacquiao Dogboe, and Pacquiao Magdaleno. Then you get your, the new promoter who signs you because you did what you wasn't supposed to do. So he can't just let you walk away. And he gives you 2 tune-ups to like introduce you to the television public, and you lose. I mean, really, the Jeff Horn story and a bunch of other dudes that never lived up to the potential of the hype.
I would not compare Dogboe to Jeff Horn.
I know, because actually Jeff Horn went in there and knocked out Anthony Mundine, who at least was some sort of former world champion at one day in his life.
Okay.
I don't think Dogboe has a questionable win.
I disagree.
No, you're right. It's not questionable. I mean, he beat the shit out of Magdaleno. That's definitely right.
But you were saying, like, many times fighters come, they win when they're not supposed to, and then you have a short reign. Yeah. And at that point, that short reign could be that guy may have had that person's number at the time.
Rockman, right? Rockman beat Lennox, and then it was over for him too, no?
Yeah, you lost in the immediate rematch, which is still possible that Dogboe and Magdaleno may have a rematch. And that's really, we can see if you can beat the guy not just once, but twice. And if Magdaleno comes back and beats,
I won't even, what do I want Dogboe for now? Like,
well, correct. But I'm just saying, if Magdaleno comes back, let's say he beats Dogboe, well, then that kind of elevates that situation where you're trying to say, like, Dogboe captured a moment. He was technically losing against the Magdaleno fight, and then he had a heroic comeback. And at that point, Magdaleno has that loss that he may want to avenge, which can propel him back to a title fight. Dogboe's on the decline. He didn't even look like Dogboe, and now we know some of his background story. But even then, a fighter's loss, that could be something that Top Rank wants to put back.
No, I totally agree. I'm just saying, like, that doesn't make sense to me until both get to till they both rebuild. You know what I mean? Right. So like, that's like Kell Brook doesn't make sense just yet. Kell Brook needs a little bit more rebuilding so that Earl could give him the rematch, which you can see Earl desperately wants to give him the rematch. He's always watching his fights. He's always, talking about him. But Dogboe, Magdaleno, I think that it doesn't make sense. Magdaleno and Dogboe need to get back to that level.
Yes, I agree. I agree with Ness on that point.
For instance, like Sean Porter, he could hypothetically say, I don't want my rematch with Kell Brook right now. I'm a WBC champion. Kell Brook ain't really done nothing. But yesterday I said it would be smart of Sean Porter as a business move to take the, not the Kell of, he doesn't look like the Kell of old. I mean, last night's performance doesn't tell me that is the Kell Brook of old. So if I'm Sean Porter, it's a yes and no situation. It's really, what do I want to do? I want to avenge that, or do I want to say, nah, he's not on our level anymore because he hasn't come back up to that level?
Bringing it back to Dogboe, though, I think Dogboe is still a top 10 guy in the division. The division isn't that deep. 122 isn't the deepest division. It's unfortunately.
I was saying that we don't know anybody in that division. Like you said, Ray Vargas, and I know that name. He's fought on HBO. He's the taller.
Yeah, goofy looking guy. Goofy looking motherfucker. But you know why you don't know him? Oscar De La Hoya, shout out to Oscar, only promotes Canelo. So he gets lost in that Golden Boy shuffle and doesn't get promoted. Hopefully, though.
All right, but that's one other guy. Who else?
Daniel Rohan. He's been on Matchroom.
Oh my God.
But the thing is, going back to what you were saying, Matt, he does have a little cousin, right? Diego De La Hoya, and that could be an opportunity. Maybe he promotes his own family member. And
but Diego hasn't lived up to the potential. I mean, he's still fighting like in Mexico. He's been struggling. They tried to give him some sort of regional title, I believe, in this year. Check it out. And then they had to regress him. He went back to Mexico, I think, and had one more fight. He's with Julio Diaz. We'll see. I mean, look, there's a lot of pressure, bro. Being a junior, having that same last name's too much pressure, but whatever. Any other fights you want to mention on this card? Teofimo, let's get to that.
Oh, boy. We haven't talked about Loma, so yeah, we got.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fast one, right? First round, geez Louise, right? Like, whoa. I mean, talk about making a statement, talk about no comparison to Haney, talk about how to overshadow Haney. I mean,
he needs to talk about landing that motherfucking backflip without even running around the ring.
I was afraid.
Me too.
He got really high on that one.
Yeah, dude. He was crunk. He knocked that motherfucker out. I would be crunk too.
How about how hard Mason Menard hit that floor?
Dude, I don't even care about
shout out to Javier for the commentary, man. Oh my God.
I don't even care how hard he hit. The fact, like, did you see that he was stiff on the way down? His left arm was stiff and extended, locked. It was like he was fucking having a seizure on the way down, bro. That was crazy.
And the word you saw him hit Menard a couple times with that right hand before that final knockout blow, and this all happened within like 40 seconds. That's the crazy part. But that performance was so electric, was so dominant, so quick. He needs a top 10 opponent. Like he just like.
Well, I want to go with it. I want to go with it. I mean, I know this is a big leap, but after this performance, how much do you believe in that power? Like, should we start believing his call outs of Loma? Is he still trying to, hold on? Is he still trying to do a Tekashi and clout chase, or is this a real call out? Like, was this performance letting us know, bro, I'm serious. I really have the power to sleep Lomachenko.
Absolutely. It's a real call out. In my interview with him, he said, I want Lomachenko. If I can't get him, then I'll go up to 140 for my title shot. So I believe it absolutely a real call out. And he said, shit, if I lose, I lose. But shit, I want that fight.
He needs a win over a real former champion first.
I was going to say that.
Like, he needs a Ricky Burns or Ray Beltran. He needs one of those guys that's still a top 15, top 10 lightweight and beat them, and then it's immediate. That Loma fight's right there. But to jump to a Loma fight right now, I think doesn't make the most sense. Mason Menard, even though we know him, isn't a former champion.
I hear you on the former champ, right? I just don't agree with neither of those names you mentioned.
A couple other names.
Durable. I know they're durable and probably more durable than my selection. Ooh. But I think that my selection may get him over the top. I think he goes for Hank Lundy.
No,
Ray Beltran is so old and worn.
I was gonna bring up Edner Cherry.
Yeah, I seen that in the chat, but I didn't like that because he doesn't have that name, or do people think he's gonna win? Not that they think Hank Lundy's gonna win, but Hank Lundy can sell it.
Yeah, Hank Lundy's a better promoter.
There's a lot of common opponents. There's common opponents there. I don't know.
What about T.O. and go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, at this point, regardless of where he goes, he needs a barometer, like a common opponent, like how he was able to differentiate him between Devin Haney with that punching power of the Mason Menard. We need to see him what maybe someone that Lomachenko's fought, just like you said, maybe, or at some point.
Who at 35? The only guy Lomachenko got now is Pedraza and Linares. So
yeah, I mean, well,
Linares, they're not gonna do that because they'll have to pay a lot of money for Linares to come fight a prospect on the top rank side.
And I think that the possible route is that vacant Richard Commey side.
There you go,
Ron
G.
That way, because
there you go.
Bob Arum's already said
he mentioned it himself. They said it on the telecast that he wanted the IBF route.
And Richard Commey was in attendance, obviously, at the event last night.
A lot of shade with that attendance by Richard Commey.
And did you see him?
Yeah,
Lou DiBella and Andre Rozier go at it. That was kind of weird.
I don't know about go at it because I didn't know Rozier had a Twitter. Does he?
No, he was.
Sean Nam, one of the trans ranking that.
Someone tweet quoted
Andre Rozier.
Yeah,
what Andre Rozier said, and then Lou DiBella stepped in and was like, "Motherfucker, I got you the tickets." Like, went on a Lou DiBella rant on Twitter. It was great. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, because he was saying that he was promoting Richard Commey better than his promotional team.
Yeah, that's right. Apparently.
Which is unfair because I think that Lou is the reason that we even fucking know Richard Commey. So,
that's what I said. He got him
like, shame on you. Lou got him a job, a title shot. Like, he's got him, return fights. Like, whatever. Look, Andre probably knows better than us, though, right? Who knows? Andre, as far as I know, has only been training him for a year, though.
Agreed. But anyways, I think we all basically said what we need to about Teofimo. Want to go Loma?
Yeah. What could you say? I'm a bit disappointed. Doing so many shows on this shit, people made me believe like Loma is the one. And then let me start over. Maybe it's that the Pedraza did a good job, and did kind of his best imitation of Tyson Fury, that herky jerky, a lot of jittery movement. And he did move a lot too, like with the feet, which also was an issue for Loma, I guess. Then the height, he used his range and height slightly better than most fights, but I think he never really committed. I hated seeing him kind of just like really slowly put out the left, followed by right. He kept looking like he was just measuring to see could he get a gauge on Loma, but those punches never got snappier. They never got faster. They never came with any conviction. And then you just would see Loma periodically land pot shots that were taking this kid's port. I don't know how his neck didn't just fucking shoulder, his head didn't just roll off like a bowling ball. It was, because he was just backing, just jabbing him and straight lefts. But it wasn't the typical outclassing, like, Pedraza made it hard.
I think there's a couple reasons as to why it was difficult for Loma. One, Loma struggles with fellow southpaws. If you look at his trend of fighting southpaws like Gary Russell Jr., Orlando Salido, others, he has struggled with them. The way he dips off the center line like an Usyk is so it relies so heavily on the other fighter being an orthodox fighter. The way they dip off that center line and launch their left hand. When he's fighting a fellow southpaw, that like go-to defensive move he has and the defensive sort of tick he has is not there. And I think that's why you see him shell up more and sort of roll with the shots, which he does, beautifully. Like he does do still like sublime defensive work in the pocket, but it's less, I would say, sublime than when he's fighting fighting an orthodox fighter where he can really dance around them and make them and really circle around them and get his shots and combinations going. And Pedraza, like you said, Ness, is tough. Pedraza is an underrated boxer that we really discounted since the Gervonta Davis loss, and he doesn't deserve that.
I think Tank was kind of warning and telling everyone consistently, like, look, whatever I did or whatever is done was hard earned. His position when he went to fight Pedraza, he claimed that, hey, me fighting Pedraza, this is a setup. I'm being set up, and I rose to the occasion. That was his claim when he fought Pedraza. So from that point, Pedraza went on to beat Ray Beltran, which I think many people were picking Ray Beltran. Then he wins that. And then he looks pretty impressed with Lomachenko. So I think at this point, I think Pedraza may have had that one-off fight that Gervonta just rose to the occasion. And we see fighters, maybe Pedraza is that good, but Gervonta really just rose to that specific fight. And at that point, that's why we see a fighter of, we dismiss the fighter right away. So on top of that, we've seen not one, but two fights at this weight class that Lomachenko hasn't looked overwhelmingly crazy amazing. And as exciting as Linares and Lomachenko was, a lot of people starting to question, is this the ceiling? Is this the weight class? Was he able to overwhelm people at the smaller weight classes? And now when he's here at 135 and fighting boxers, southpaws, things like that, it is more than just,
all I know is that this fight added a whole lot more intrigue to that Mikey fight. He got a lot more detractors and naysayers from this. A lot more people believing Mikey could put this kid away.
Which, I mean, boxing fans are fickle. Like, after every fight, we change our mind, so that's not a surprise.
I mean, look, either or, like Ness said, I mean, the division is getting more excited. Many people was saying, look, Teofimo Lopez, not for Lomachenko. Now, even though I don't want him to fight Lomachenko, I mean, I think the gaps are getting closer now. Seeing these type of fighters fight each other is way more interesting and a lot more competitive. And now I don't see this overwhelming dominance,
The gap is closer, but we're jumping the gun. I mean, fuck, it's Mason Menard. Who's he beat? Who is he? He's just, not to be harsh, no disrespect, but he's a guy that lost.
Yeah, he's a fighter that people bring in against A-level opponents to lose. But with Lomachenko, man, I wasn't really impressed with him last night. Just because I've seen what Gervonta did to Pedraza, and that's the fight that people were talking about for the longest. And I just think Gervonta had a better showing. And also the Mikey Garcia fight. If Mikey comes back down and fights Lomachenko, man, it's gonna be tough for Loma, bro. It's gonna be tough for him. And I like Ron said, I think the ceiling for him may be 135, where maybe even drop down a level, because the guys at 135 are cracking. So what?
He need to retire.
Who, Lomachenko?
Yeah. That Mikey fight might not happen. And what else has he got? He's going to have to move up and prove his greatness, move to like 40.
Yeah, and y'all got to quit calling this man pound for pound king.
If he stays
He's not a pound.
Like who's he fight?
Well, Mikey has moved up from 122, and now he's in a fourth weight division, so that does matter a little bit. Secondly,
wait,
let me finish the point. Secondly, to answer your Nest
point, explain that point. What do you mean by that? Mikey moved up. He's saying, what do you mean by that?
No, he's Mike said that. Oh, he called him pound for pound. I'm saying, yeah, Loma's moved up 4 weight divisions and is champion in 3 of them. Okay. That's relevant information. To call him not pound for pound is a little bit ignorant. To answer your point, or Ness,
I mean, he's not the pound for pound. He's not number 1. That's what I meant.
That's not what you said. Now you changed.
He's not pound for pound king. That's exactly what I said.
Okay.
If you listen, I said king at the end.
Cool,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Awesome. To answer Ness's point more directly, if he's getting 1.4 metered ratings, that means NBA average. Again, the NBA average game on ESPN does 1.59 million viewers. If Loma's hitting that number with Pedraza and Rigo and Linares, you can probably hit that with a Richard Comey, with the Denis Shafikov, with all these other names. You could probably still do relatively decent numbers, and ESPN's gonna continue to want his fights. So until that,
I don't think we were arguing that that he wouldn't be relevant, but
saying as a boxer,
him as a boxer though, he isn't with the bullshit fights. So he's like Mikey, right? Like he wants real fights. So like he took this because he knows it's a unification, but he won't take another Pedraza that doesn't have a belt, Matt. You know that, right?
But again, like you said, Ness, 135 doesn't have more Pedrazas. He's cleaning it out.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like he might have to retire because he's not gonna move up to 40. That's why he didn't take the Pacquiao fight. And if he moves up to 40, he's gonna get beat. he could stay at 35 and just reign like B-Hop and Triple G. But again, it is my opinion based off his interviews that he's not interested in meaningless fights.
I think when the paycheck's good enough, and you're now what the second biggest name on that roster, you're gonna be okay fighting the Richard Comeys and the Dennis Shafikoffs and the Ricky Burns of the world, and fight the Teofimo Lopez in a year and a half, 2 years, Matt, let's be okay with that.
Let's remove the money and let's just talk about, let's say his claim is to fight the best, which he has been doing, moving up multiple weight classes, taking those serious fights. As serious fights, what more serious is besides a Mikey Garcia fight or moving up to 140? Does he have, if that's the route he wants to
Let me just give you the top 15 for context so you could be able to pick some names. Ricky Burns from UK, Gustavo Daniel Limon from Argentina, Raymond Beltran, who lost to the guy he beat yesterday, and Jose Pedraza. Isa Chanev, I don't know, Jose Zepeda, Yurokis Gamboa, Emanuel Tago, Javier Fortuna, Richard Comey, Robert Easter, Anthony Carolla, Jose Pedraza, Luke Campbell, Mikey Garcia, Vasiliy. So that's what I'm saying. That I don't know. I mean,
obviously a guy like Miguel Berchelt will be relevant at that division very soon. He's talked about moving up. That's in the top ranked stable. That's a relevant fight for Vasiliy Lomachenko, in my opinion. That would possibly get him up. I just don't see him retiring, and if he doesn't go to 140, I see him still reigning. I see him getting the paychecks and doing his thing because that's what the fighters do.
How old is he now?
He's probably what, 33?
Oh, no, he's only 30. Wow.
Oh, he's still so he still at least has another 5 to 8 years.
He's gonna have to try and move up to challenge himself. Then I don't really see like. I mean, look, you're right about the whole, if you could do it with Pedraza, but he's Puerto Rican, it was marketing. They brought him to Madison Square Garden, but I mean, mandatory, right? Isn't Carolla the mandatory now?
I believe you're right about that. Quickly, do you think that Mikey drops back down to 135? Like, that should be what we're asking.
Possibly, but that's what I'm saying. That fight is so far removed for Loma. Like, Mikey still got to fight in March. Then he's got to take 90 days off for being knocked out. Then he's got to, go back down and get a tune-up because he's been knocked out and hurt. He got to lick his wounds. And then he could probably start negotiating with Vasyl if he looks good. Like, we don't know. For all we know, he could Kell Brook, go to Gennady, come back down, and not look good at 35,
So even then, maybe he wants to go down to 140. Like, he has options. Maybe he'll take steps back down gradually. Or maybe he said, if you want to fight me, meet me at 140.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. So now if you're Loma, do you just sit around and wait to see what Mikey does? That means that you're no one. I mean, you're doing 1.4 meter, but you're sitting around waiting for the PBC guy.
And Mikey already gave rid of one belt. It wouldn't be surprising if he gave up the second belt, basically because of the fact that he's doing all these jumps for money. He's definitely a financial kind of game guy at this position. You can tell.
Yeah, but for money and legacy, I mean, Mikey's making a bigger name. If he beats, again, I've said this before, he beats Earl, he is the new Canelo. Better because he speaks English.
Yeah, I agree with that. Probably closer to like the Oscar, I would say. Because that Mexican American vibe.
I mean, if he could do the Oscar, that would be great. Because even though Canelo's Canelo, I don't know if I've ever heard Canelo making $30 million guaranteed. Oscar was making $30 million guaranteed.
His DAZN deal.
Yeah, no, dude, but that's like a deal, right? That's a deal. Oscar coming up, that was like his purse. Like, dude was getting 30. I mean, at least the one I remember him getting 30 for sure as a kid was Bernard, and Bernard got 10. That was Bernard's first time. They kept making a big deal about it's the first time Bernard makes 10 million. First time Bernard makes 10 million. He got 5% stake in Golden Boy. It was like a big deal. That was the whole selling line, and that Oscar was making 30. And I'm just like, whoa, you know what I mean? We hear Canelo giving up the big purse to fight Cotto, to fight Mayweather, to fight who else he gave not the Triple G. He got the big side on that, but whatever. Off topic.
Also, quickly, that pay-per-view buy rate for that Spence Garcia fight may determine how quickly Mikey goes back down to 135 and whether he fights Lomachenko.
And not only that, dude, even if he loses, but let's say they do $1 million buys, you don't think Mikey's going back down to 135 as a pay-per-view star?
I don't think he goes down to 135. I think he stays at 147 and fights more 147 pounders on pay-per-view. That's what I would say. You know,
if he loses at 47 competitively,
yeah,
yeah, I would totally buy him versus Danny and him versus Thurman.
Yeah,
because he's been calling out Thurman before Earl. You know what I'm saying?
The Manny Pacquiao fight's still there. Win or lose against Broner, win or lose against Spence.
Loma was on this little island, and it's called No Man's Land.
Yes.
Yeah, and going back to like my biggest thing about Mikey and Spence is simple. If Mikey can take the power, he's good. If he can't take the power, then that's when things crumble. So that's just pretty much it. If he can withstand a lot of Spence punching, he can stay at 147. He can go to 140. That's the big thing. If Lomachenko wants to fight Mikey and Mikey's out here taking Spence's punches, I don't know, man.
Someone said Oscar had the gold medal. I mean, look, I'm not going to say that the gold medal doesn't do anything, but I'm going to say that Oscar had more than the gold medal. What pushed Oscar over the top was the two Julio César Chávez fights. So that's why I'm saying Mikey will get pushed over the top with this fight. Whenever you do something the public doesn't expect you to do, not that they didn't expect Oscar to win that fight, but it was a big that's a legend. He got to fight. He's got to fight fucking Julio César Chávez. The fight.
Oscar also was a South Central LA native, Mexican American. That's a huge market here in the West Coast.
Yeah, but isn't Mares that? Isn't Mikey that? Like a lot of guys are that, and they still don't get to his level.
Of course, but it's an added factor. It's not useless. It does help. You know, mix that in with the gold medal. Mix that in. The Oscar was like a good-looking guy back in the day, and all the ladies liked him. Like my mom still talks about Oscar being a good-looking guy.
We also have to remember there's a passing of a torch, and when he beat Julio César Chávez, he had his groundbreaking moment where he had the Mexican fan base that wasn't into him.
Oh, then he did it twice. Smart ass. He was so smart. So smart. Did it 2 times. Like,
well, quickly then, is Spence a Chávez though? Truly, like I obviously in terms of
he's adopted though. Like the Mexicans love him because of his body work, because of his style.
But Chávez was different than Spence. Like in terms of like Mexican awareness, like the fans loving Chávez, it is different, right?
But I think what it's gonna do, it's gonna be because he beat Goliath, though, right? Like that's why it's not about how Mexican or how many Mexicans like Spence. It's more about the Mexican doing the unthinkable.
I think it's hard to compare it with Oscar versus Chávez because that was more so the true passing the torch. That was what was it? Was it Larry Holmes fighting Ali? Like it was sort of that moment where it was a clear generational change and shift. With Mikey and Earl, they're in the same generation. So that's less of this, a true comparison. It's more like you said, the Goliath factor. It's the fact that, wow, no one expects Mikey to beat him. That would do it more so than that any comparison to a Chavez.
How bad would it be for Earl? I know we're going way off all our topics, but like, if Mikey really wins, like, does that? Remember that movie with Ace Ventura, the fake Dan Marino and shit, the football guy that couldn't make the kick, and he went like, would that become Earl? Like, go into hiding? Like, he lost the fight, everyone thought he was gonna win. Does he retire? Like, can you bounce back from that? Like, everyone thinks you're gonna win.
Yes, he can. If he gets, again, it depends how competitive. If it's a really close, competitive, fun fight.
But isn't that worse? It's like, oh my God, the little guy's so competitive.
No. If Mike comes out here and let's say he just puts on a boxing clinic, like maybe like wins 9-8 rounds, right, and just really outboxes Spence, that could really damage his stock. But if it's a competitive close fight that's fun, I think people won't care.
I think anything. I mean, seeing the fact that if he goes in and you can see him hurting Spence. I mean, like Nessa, this is the Goliath, right? We're all talking like, look. He should win. Spence should win. Now, as a boxing fan, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing the miraculous because it's amazing. But I have to be honest and say, look, I just think this is a really tough fight for Mikey Garcia. Regardless of where he stands, I think everyone can respect it. Have you seen Spence uncomfortable, hurt, wobbled, backed up? And he's fighting guys like Kell Brook, who's naturally bigger.
Bro, he's got that dog, too. I feel like even if Mikey hurts him, then what? You just made him mad.
So it's Mikey. Look, he's doing something great as well as money is a lot of factor in it. But it's tough. Mikey was shelved for a little bit. Oscar had the whole it factor about him. His story about his mother dying, adversity, the gold Olympic medal. I mean, it's like the Sugar Ray Leonard thing. Like it was very big back then. Top Rank was pushing him hard. Floyd was on his undercard. Like, there's just a lot of factors that, we'll see. We'll see. Mikey has to perform very well. And even if he loses, it's a lot on here. So he has a lot to gain. And
when is that fight? What date is that? March 19th?
The week before the 23rd. So March
16th
18th or 16th or something.
Yeah.
March 17th. March 17th, 2019. This is a shame. Earl's only a minus 350.
What?
Well,
that's not a lot.
Again, probably the lines have shifted. I would assume that it was probably wider odds and a lot of people bet on Mikey.
Probably so. But
is there any way to find that out? Like, what did it open up at?
You would have to like Google that specifically. Yeah. Want me to try that?
Like, yeah, it would be interesting to know how much did it move. How many people are believing in Mikey, or is this what the bookies think, that Earl is just a minus 350? While you do that, go ahead, Mike.
I would say Andre Ward just said it best, man. You got a great little man versus a great big man in history, man. Like, the great big man are always going to beat the great little man because the skill set is like probably on.
Except when you're named Floyd Mayweather Jr. and you beat up Oscar De La Hoya at 54.
Yeah, but Oscar was older, right? It wasn't Oscar.
Better Oscar than the one that Pacquiao beat and made a name for himself.
I'm not just saying that, but was it Oscar in his prime like Mikey?
I mean,
Oscar was more like starting his prime. Mikey is towards the end of his prime, I would argue.
Towards the end? Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, Mikey had the Orlando Theater win. He's had all the, like, the Juan Manuel Lopez fight. Like, Mikey had a run in other divisions. Like, this is the cherry on top in his career, in my opinion.
So Oscar was in his prime when he fought Floyd?
I wouldn't. He was not in his prime.
Floyd, I misheard you then. Sorry, I misheard you. Sorry, I thought you said Chavez.
No.
No. Look.
Yo, they saying Mikey ain't Floyd. I'm saying Mikey's the Spanish Floyd.
Quickly, Ness, what were the odds that you brought up that are the current odds?
50 plus 280 for Mikey.
It hasn't changed that much. Earl opened up as a minus 400 favorite, and Mikey opened up as a plus 275 underdog.
Damn. So it's right there.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, history shows, I mean, Earl is just too big, man. His body work. Then, if you look at Mikey's body, I don't want to be like a fucking pageant judge, but it's kind of flabby, you know what I'm saying? With Earl doing that kind of body work, just doesn't make for like a good recipe. That's all I'm saying.
You also got to look, like, what does he have to do to get to 47, right? He has to pack more weight. He has to. So at that point, he's probably going to be a little bit slower.
Yo, I never understood that. Why do you even make the weight? Like, you moving up, that's the limit. You don't got to even make the weight. Like, why do they gain more weight?
Well, it's not necessarily gaining weight. Mikey probably walks around 150-ish, and he cuts down to 135. He cut down to 126 and cut all that water weight, all that fat off. Now he doesn't. That's why against Sergey Lipinets, he looked a little bit chubby, and he looked a little bit flat in that fight because he didn't cut down. He didn't lose all that extra weight and flab like most fighters do. That's why Kell Brook looked sluggish after the first round against Triple G. You know, that's why Amir Khan looked the way he did against Canelo. You know, you weren't cutting weight. You weren't getting rid of that extra weight you don't need in athletic competition.
Why don't fighters just like tone that up though? Why like shred it? Why just don't tone up like your
everybody's body composition is different. Not everybody's gonna get ripped up. Everybody ain't gonna look like Andrew the Beast Tabiti. But
I'm not saying ripped. I'm just saying tone.
Transition into a dude that is ripped but didn't look as good as his body in Kell Brook. I was expecting a knockout. The bookies had it as a knockout at a minus 470 for the knockout. And this dude went in there and got a decision and got hands put on him and is still talking about Khan. And I think that's what it is. I'm not going to knock his performance. I'm not going to say he's old. I'm not going to say he's damaged goods.
But he is.
Say he isn't focused. I'm going to say he's worried about Khan so much that he's not focusing on what's in front of him. Like, yo, Zafata had a lot of success with his jab, a lot of success with the right hand. Like, I don't understand what Brook was thinking, but he got the win, but he got hit. He got hit.
I would actually argue that he is a little bit of damaged goods. Like, all the things you would argue that you wouldn't argue, Ness, I would argue them all, to be quite honest. However, I do sort of echo what you're saying about not being focused. I think you're absolutely right about that. I think there is just a multiple factor situation here with Kell Brook. On top of that, I think he has sort of shifted his tone since this loss. Since this win. He knows he looked like shit. He knows it. That's why he came back and said, okay, I'll fight at 147 and I'll have the rehydration clause for Amir Khan. No issue.
Oh, he looks so fucking desperate. Like, doesn't he have friends? Where are his friends that are like?
I mean, you got Eddie and Hearn out here pushing that narrative that
let Eddie Hearn do it. You see AJ talking. This guy looks so desperate.
Well, he's chasing a check.
He knows he can't beat no one else.
He's in no man's land.
Like
he's
brought up
between 147.
Sorry, you brought up Sean Porter, Ness. I mean, no one thinks that Kell Brook beat Sean Porter in a rematch, right?
I mean, he can always go down the 154 route, right? Jerry
That's
Hearn.
what I'm saying.
You're crazy.
I'm just saying. I mean, hey, shit. I didn't put him in the fucking WBA fucking mandatory. I didn't do it.
After what the did to him, they better be offering Jarrett Hurd to come to the UK to fight on pay-per-view so that Kell could get all the money possible. All the money possible because, bro, if you just fight Jarrett Hurd in the US for a couple mil, he gonna get retired. At least go fight for a couple mil and some pay-per-view upside in the UK, and Jarrett Hurd can get, international exposure. He better stay away from 54. After watching Safada do that to him, I'm fearful.
He's in no man's land. No man's land. I mean, I don't know if that was a catch weight, but he weighed in like 151 or something. So that's literally in between two weight classes. Like he's not even making the 147 right now. Obviously.
To his credit, Eddie Hearn came out and said Kell did ask him, hey, look, I can make 147 if you want me to, you know what I'm saying? Just to show you that I can make it healthy. And Eddie was like, no, don't do it. Just go in at 151.
But even still with that, like he's still not at 147. And if he's performing at a weight that he seems a little more comfortable.
That's common. No, Ron, that's common. If there's not a title on the line, like there's dozens of fighters that don't fight at 47 or at 60. Like
Amir Khan fought that guy. What's the guy's name at 150?
No, I know they do it often, but listen what I'm saying. If he was at a more comfortable weight and he performed that way, if he went to I can make 147, like I'm trying to say, what?
If you're saying he looked that way at 50 and he had leeway.
Yes, he had the leeway, and he didn't be like, I'm at me weight. Like that was his notorious line. I'm comfortable. I'm at me weight. I'm feeling good. Now, what if he makes 147 now? He's draining himself at an uncomfortable weight. We know he always struggles at that weight. He's performing against a fighter which we really didn't expect to go that distance. I mean, many people lost money on their parlays. Not saying nobody, but at that point, Kell Brook didn't even do what he's supposed to do. Let's keep it real. So Kell Brook at this point, he's in no man's land. 147 is dangerous. 154 is dangerous, and he's struggling at his comfortable weight. This is bad. And
look here, I brought it up to Ness like this yesterday. He is the Adrian Broner right now. He's too big. I mean, too big for 147 and too small for 154, but he doesn't have that marketability and fucking mouthpiece of an Adrian Broner. So when you don't have that, you got to get scraps. You got to get what's left over you. You got to call out Amir Khan because that's the biggest money fight for you. You don't want to go over and fight Sean Porter because you might lose. You don't want to go and get a fucking Errol Spence rematch because you might lose, but you might want to go take a Terrence Crawford fight. But we need somebody to fight. So, hey, 147, no rehydration clause, and come on over.
Well, I don't know, man. It'd be interesting to see what big fight Eddie finds for Kell Brook because look, Eddie has us all dialed in. Like we're all tuned in to the next Eddie Hearn video and the next Eddie Hearn fight. I'm definitely enjoying the zone. Matter of fact, bro. Oh my God.
Did you already watch it? The Canelo little pre-show?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I didn't check that out, but
I don't even want to go there
I thought you were going there.
without talking about this motherfucker, John O'Cara, bro. Straight up, man.
Bro, hold on, Ness, before you start. It wasn't only his fault though. The way the fights played out, it was everybody's fault last night.
You're right. Everybody fucked it up. But John O'Cara didn't even win. Kell Brook was supposed to get a knockout. I bet the knockout And yo, I didn't lose all my bets. Like everybody's in the chat. Oh, you lost all your bets. First of all, learn how to do your math. Okay, I'm still up $400 up. Okay, and they still ain't pay out the $5 at plus 2,700 on the draw for Rosado, which gives me 135. I bet 60 on a parlay, 5-bet parlay. People like, oh, you so stupid. You did a 5-bet parlay. Motherfucker, wasn't Lomachenko supposed to knock his fucking bum ass opponent out? Yes. Wasn't fucking Matt, you can shake your head all you want. You seen what the bookies had. You said Undango too, but listen to me. You could bet too. It's no different than when we do the betting show and all these tough guys call in like, yo, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Nah, nigga, bet. It costs nothing to bet but $1. You could
it's hard in California. You know that now.
Look, I'll say this.
You're right, but you got me. I don't want to hear that crybaby shit. You can send me whatever you want. I could put it on.
Okay, I'll do that.
Because let me tell you, you did get the other dude right too. You made him Dongo famous, but you ain't. You could be riding around here in a new motherfucking SRT8 with all that shit you talk. You know what I'm saying? So, no, on the Wilder KO, Wayne, you fucking troll. I never bet the Wilder KO. Remember? See, such a hater.
But let's go on to the John Carroll fight.
No, he whacked, man. He whacked.
He looked good for 4 rounds.
Second fight in a row, he gasses out. And I actually like him. I'm still give him another chance because he's technically sound as fuck. I really like he doubles, triples the jab. His right hand is straight. He digs to the body. He got heart. You know what I'm saying? He fights with aggression. He comes forward, but he gassed out. And you know, like you talk all this shit with 3 knockouts, and it's just like you were talking about Tevin Farmer. You were souping up the next fight, and that's what I'm saying about Kell Brook. These UK dudes, because it's 2 UK dudes. They counting their chickens before they hatch when they got shit right in front of them. They worried about the next meal and it's food on the plate. And Jonah Carl ain't take care of the food, and Kell Brook barely ate everything on his plate. He lucky his mom ain't whoop him for leaving fucking all that extra food on the plate. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Tevin Farmer did address John O'Carroll or John O'Carroll. Well, how the fuck you say his fucking name? He was like, "Look here, man. You didn't win. You got the draw."
One tweet, he said, "You disappointed me."
Yeah, and you're not going to get the check that you thought you was going to get, but we'll give you a little something because I still want to fight you next. That's what he said.
You said you gonna take whatever I give
remember
you.
My bad, run shit.
No,
correct me,
I'm trying
goddamn.
to add. No, I'm trying to add what Tevin Farmer was like. Look,
that's
take whatever you
crab in the barrel mentality too. Crab in the barrel mentality. See what I'm saying? Like now Tevin is the A side. Same thing that fucking Cotto did to Martinez when he was getting shitted on by Pacquiao and Mayweather left and right. It's like, why we got to get on top and shit on the nigga behind us now? Now, oh, you gonna take what I give you. Meanwhile, you was the same dude crying, oh, I just need someone to give me a platform. Like
it's
that.
Boxing, man. It's ego.
Nah.
At the end of the day, it's ego.
Check him. It ain't right.
You gotta. The only way you check somebody in boxing is to beat their ass. If you can't beat their ass, then you can't check them.
That's a fighter's job. We criticize.
That's what I'm saying. A fighter's job.
Is a fighter.
Criticize fighters every day right here. So I'm talking about Yacha.
Oh, I mean, bro. I don't, bro. It's boxing. It's always gonna be that fucking A side mentality. That's never gonna go away.
And on top of that, if Tevin Farmer didn't talk that shit, we wouldn't be talking about it now.
Thank you.
Nice and polite. We wouldn't even mention it. If Jonah Carroll didn't talk that shit, we wouldn't be really mentioning it. Ness wouldn't be keep on Jonah Carroll.
Oh, Jonah Carroll, good job last night, man. If you really want a rematch with me, I will give it to you, no problem. Look, great job, man. Great. Keep on going. Keep on. I don't want to hear that weak ass shit.
I don't want to hear shit about that dude because he ain't do nothing he said he was gonna do.
Nothing. Gave him like 15 minutes. It was long too.
He'd be lucky if we get a motherfucking a fight between him and Tevin after shit in the bed like that.
Well, Tevin said he wanted it.
I don't know why. Like, but I get it. I mean, 3 knockouts, you know, what's the risk?
And it's a UK fight, and Tevin Farmer's going to whoop that ass. Like, Jonah Carroll's never going to be more than a top 20, and he's not even that, let's be honest. He's not the top 20 super featherweight. So it's just Tevin Farmer getting that UK money, which I don't blame. I mean, fighters do that, and they talk that shit, so it's not really, like, again.
I forgot what fighter said it, but is an older fighter, and it might be a heavyweight. I can't remember, but y'all can help me. And it just goes back to this crabs in the barrel mentality. It's like, yo, don't say you love me. Fight me. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Tevin Farmer's doing that, but it's coming with a backhanded compliment. It's like, yo, I'm gonna extend my hand to you and give you the fight you need to feed your family, but at the same time, you're gonna take what I'm giving you, and I'm gonna play this villain role when it's like, bruh, this is your job, and this is how you feed your family, like it's the way he feed his family. You know what I'm saying? So fight.
That's a famous little
Fight
dick.
somebody, you know what I'm saying? Don't be talking that other shit. Just fight. You ain't gotta like. I don't know. I just don't, because Tank was doing it to him. Tank was doing it to him. You know what I'm saying? And Earl did it to Terrence. Oh, you told me to get a belt. Now I got a belt. Now it's the next hoop you want me to jump through. It's like, yo, when we gonna stop doing this bullshit to each other? I don't know. Whatever. What else? No.
But Ness, that'd be like acting like if musicians got along and didn't keep fucking over each other. Like this is the entertainment industry in and of itself, right? Like actors do that, musicians do that, fighters do that, athletes do that. Like it's all about, pushing off from people below me to try to get higher up. Like that's just capitalism 101, man.
Capitalism 101. Somebody has to be rich. Somebody got to be poor. Goddamn it.
Maurice said that. Marvin Hagler said it. Hopefully, Ron could fact check that.
Derek James always goes back to it though. Derek James always.
Yeah,
you didn't know that. Stop front. You didn't know that.
The line he said, if you love me, you give me the fight. You'll fight me. He was saying that about the whole Leonard thing. That was the whole buildup. If you really, really, truly love me or you want to help me, then fight me. And then later on, obviously, we already know what happened. Leonard, come back.
That's right. Not this little punk ass offers. You know what I'm saying? Not this, oh, my dick bigger than yours. Take this 3 million. Take this 1 million. Nah. Dog.
I mean, it's male ego though, bro.
Yo, no, Mike. It's not even our money. Put yourself in their shoes, bro. It's not even our money. We sitting around here talking about other people's money. Like, I ain't gonna give you a bigger percent of his money, motherfucker. Like, nigga, that shit ain't yours. Let's both eat. And let's both get this fight on for the public and ends that. Nah, I gotta have a bigger dick. Why? Because Oscar did it to Floyd and Floyd did it to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So everybody else after Floyd follows suit. You know what I'm saying? Pacquiao like, fuck that, I'm doing it. Cotto like, they did it to me. You know what I'm saying? It's stupid. They should pay your dues. Martinez started at 19, bro. Bad knees and everything. His only pay-per-view, he gets fucked because he the B-side. That shit. He had to give up his belt to Chávez because he was the B-side. He had to literally vacate his belt. Let Chávez beat some fucking bum on HBO for it that we never even heard of Sebastian Zvik again. And then he had to go and fight because Chávez refused to fight him because he wasn't the A-side. He had to vacate the belt. Let the challenger become the A-side. Like, come on, man. Yo, we gotta do something as the public. If we just demand certain fights, all that, negotiation power don't mean shit.
I mean, bro, we demand it. Folks demand shit, but don't mean that shit gonna happen. Promoters worry about making money. Go ahead.
No, but listen, I was saying, like, obviously to start way back, I mean, Sugar Ray Robinson was one of the fighters who had a lot of negotiation power back then. After he killed his opponent, he realized the value of, man, I'm a fighter. You can die in here. And so, I mean, I've seen strange things, Gerry Cooney and Larry Holmes. I mean, a lot of respect for Larry Holmes. He was the champion. And guess what happened? He came out first and he had Gerry Cooney as the contender come out second. They introduced Larry Holmes as he was like the contender. And they made that fight happen. Larry Holmes said, look, let's just make it happen. Like you said about the Cotto and Sergio Martinez. I don't care if you put Cotto first and me, Martinez second. Like, it really is more than just the promoters. The fighters can say, you know what, let's get it on. I don't care if it's first, second, I'm the champion, I'm walking out first. I don't care. Let's make it happen. They
did ridiculous concessions, dog.
They did a 50-50.
It's getting old and corny, man.
Quickly though, how to actually demand it is through your wallet, through your viewing, like what you choose to watch, what you choose to pay for. That's how you, as the consumer, show off your power, because the consumers have power. Like, it's not just as fans, not just fans of the sport. You are consumers of the sport. You provide the money for a Mayweather, for DAZN, for all these entities, and you have power in that buying power. So use it, activate it. Actually decide with your dollars and what you watch, what you support. If you didn't want to support Loma Pedraza as a fight for whatever reason, don't watch it. If you don't want to support Mayweather versus Tenshin Nasukawa, don't pay for that shit like me. Okay,
yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like a guy like Tevin needs to be reminded, bruh, you may have the money, but you don't have the viewership. You know, if the rumor that AJ was being viewed by 15,000 is anywhere near true, how many people watching Tevin? You know what I'm saying? So like the fact that we talking about you and Jonah Carroll or you and whoever giving that fight light on an app that doesn't have the amount of, you know,
subscribe.
It obviously can't have the success rate of an ESPN.
That shit finna change. That shit finna change.
It could change, Mike, but it has it.
The reality right now is ESPN is obviously doing very well.
Yeah, of course. But let's see what it looks like after next week.
No, I hear you, and let's see if they release numbers next week.
Of course, yeah, that's a good point too. It's a great point.
It's Netflix, man. They're never going to release numbers.
But real quick, before we transition to anything else, I want to give out my prayers and my support to the Tyson Fury family and the hard time that they're going through right now, and prayers and support still to the Adonis Stevenson family and their hard time that they're going through right now too.
Can you explain to Tyson Fury?
Man, I seen that. Was that story real about his wife?
That's what everyone's reporting online. Yeah.
On which is there one reputable site, a reputable enough site?
That's what I'm gonna pull up.
If it's some people on IG talking, like it's
so it's no boxing scene. Come on, guys, we can't be doing this shit.
No ESPN.
Because I'll take boxing scene. I'll take boxing scene. I'll question World Boxing News. I'll take ESPN, but like just a Twitter tweet, yeah,
or even like the Telegraph, like some UK outlet.
There's a whole bunch of outlets out. If you just type in Fury and wife, I don't know the international websites
and US sites.
You said what?
If no boxing scene or ESPN has picked it up, we can move on. Like those are the two biggest sites in the world. Period. Doesn't even matter. US is the biggest,
and we can wait to address it when we know more about it. That's a weird one.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense to bring up a rumor.
But outside of that, congratulations to Anthony Fowler.
Talk to the mic there, Ron. Talk to the mic. That'd be awesome.
Never does that. Him and Mike etiquette.
What is his mic not like pointed at him? Like it looks like it's off in the other direction over here.
Hold on. Your mic was making. I
think
sound like R2D2. Chill.
Yo, Ron, yours was too. Was it not?
I don't know. I can't actually hear from you.
Stop stunting. I see the smile.
I don't know. I just heard yours. Now you're saying you heard mine.
Listen back. Back to the show there, Ron.
Okay, so then we just call it a draw at that point, Fury Wilder style. All right, we get the rematch on the next show. But congratulations.
Yo, Głowacki doesn't beat Meredith British in your guys' eyes?
Wow, that was way out of left field, right?
What are you talking about?
Yeah. Where did this come from?
We have a mic off right now, and
it came from the fact that my app is just sitting here open, and it's like Meredith British minus 250, Krzysztof Głowacki plus 205.
I think Briedis is better than Głowacki at this point in time. Yeah, Briedis is a better boxer, more fundamental, better combination work.
All right. What else we got on the docket?
Real quick, I just want to congratulate Jose Vargas before we go on to the HBO. That was one of Mayweather's old fighters. He signed the top rank now.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that, bro. I mean, what was that, 5th round knockout?
I think so. It was like a mid-round stoppage.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I actually got an interview set up with him. He's from out here in the BX. I've been trying to get with him. So I'll be delicate and say I want to see if he has power. That felt like it took long. Even though it was a 5th round, I don't know. Felt like it wasn't going to happen, though, right? Am I the only one that felt that way?
I didn't see it, so I'm not going to commentate
on it. I felt like he was being stalked at one point. Like he was tripping over the dude's feet a lot because he had to move away from him. He had to do a lot of pivoting at one point. Like the dude didn't respect his power. I don't know. Did he get Did he get the stoppage, or am I making a mistake?
No, he got the stoppage. I just think it was more like when he's gonna get the stoppage. I felt he wasn't getting it, but it just didn't feel like it was coming as like
exactly
as quick as you wanted to.
I felt like it wasn't gonna happen at all.
Yeah, he was hurting the guy, and he was recovering pretty well. It was a tough guy. You felt that. Maybe that's where I saw it. Maybe the opponent was tougher. then was suited for a showcase or his debut. But you know, he did his thing. His feet kind of tangled up a little bit, but he got the job done. And it was, you know, he landed good combination. So maybe, you know, it was the jitters of finally coming back. You know, he's getting what he wants, the top rank opportunity. I mean, he was shelved a little bit. That's how he put it on the Mayweather. He wasn't getting what he wanted. You know, he was considered as a prospect, you know, and he's out sparring with Tank. He wants the attention, and now here he is. He's on Top Rank ESPN, Lomachenko undercard, so it's a big deal. So he probably wanted to get that knockout, you know, and got it.
HBO had a card too, by the way.
You know, I'm gonna report on that.
I didn't know that, Mike. Thank you.
I'm gonna report on that card for 2 reasons.
The farewell.
A Clarissa, and she's a friend of the show. You know, we hope to get her back on soon. And B, Steve Kim was hilarious.
Oh my God.
Why is he that cruel?
Why is he being that mean?
He was just tweeting pictures of that empty arena with such sarcasm.
Look,
He was mean.
The tweet he put out. Hold on.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious. I'm sorry. I can enjoy some fucking rough fun, and that was hilarious.
The tweet he put out about the interest in women's boxing, man. Come on, bro.
That was kind of over the line.
Yeah, man, you better than that, homie.
I mean, that was like a slap. It was like, yo, so much interest in women's boxing, and he did like a 360 of the arena. I mean,
because let's be honest, when Shields and Hammer fight, that's going to be a sellout wherever they fight.
Thank you.
Or if it's wherever, they're going to sell out just fine.
But bro, something was wrong there.
You know why?
Man, fuck all that. Shout out.
You know why?
Not even 300 people there.
I'll tell you why. That was at the StubHub Center in LA, where I live. I had no idea the fight was at the StubHub Center. I have seen 0 billboards, bus ads, radio ads, nothing.
No posters.
On top of that, I didn't see HBO Boxing tweet about this fight like all week, dude. I swear to God.
You got to be on.
They had a press conference on Thursday.
Their marketing budget was negative dollars. Quickly. Their marketing budget was negative dollars. Okay, they put literally less than 0 into this fight into this card. It was HBO After Dark. They of course it was a disaster of a card. They set it up to be. They didn't try to make this a great send off for HBO Boxing. They kicked this motherfucker out the door and shot in the head like Old Yeller. Come on.
They're like, wrap it up, B. Wrap it up.
He's crying. Roy Jones is crying. And Peter Nelson's in the back saying, wrap it up, guys. We're done.
Peter Nelson didn't even show like his face.
He's in the back room.
Yo, Steve tweeted about that. Like, yo, Peter Nelson didn't even come out to you know, face the media.
Come on.
But look here, man. Look on some real shit, though.
Interview with him was me. And you see people laugh at me, bro. They laugh at my style of interview, but all I do is bring out the truth. When I interviewed him, I say, yo, is you being on a bike an indication that HBO is really getting out of the business? He's like, no, I love the bike. Meanwhile, a couple weeks later, motherfuckers out the business. Nigga, you catching bikes because you can't afford them black limos they was giving you no more.
I just want to say one thing, though, bro.
Let me tell you, I'm telling you, this is some serious shit. I remember this dude coming to the fights with 2 blondes, bro. Multiple blondes.
Peter Nelson
rich.
I promise you, he don't gotta be rich, but he's still HBO exec. He's still getting unlimited ringside tickets. So I don't know. They could have been his sisters. They could have been his aunt and his girl. They could have been whatever, but it don't matter. Multiple occasions he had 2 women. He was that dude, suits with big scarves, you know, real GQ ass dude. You never seen him? You got to Google a picture of him. All of a sudden, poof, everything's gone. Now you're on a fucking city bike.
Bro, he's in Manhattan though, bro. Come on, man.
Whatever, Mike. You're so fucking optimistic.
No, he a fucking white guy and he rides a bike in Manhattan. It's fucking normal.
And he also probably just lost his job. They don't need him anymore. What are they gonna use him for?
Okay, well, but look here, fuck all that.
I'm obviously, you know, guessing.
Yeah, but, you know, but shout out to fucking HBO and Clarissa Shields and fucking Big Baby for having the fucking balls to have a picture with the lovely Halle Berry, man. They brought out Halle Berry to the stuff. What?
How does that make sense? For having the balls? Like, what?
I mean, they brought Halle Berry to the fight, which it was like 300 people there. Look here, 300 people, one person is fucking Halle Berry. That makes up for like everybody else.
Can't she be a fan? Like, hold on,
I mean,
like,
she is a fan.
I don't understand. Like, how is that risky? Like, how does it take balls?
No. I'm saying for like having the like the balls, like ask for a picture because if I see Halle Berry, I'm like, should I? Fuck. I don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? But then they
fanboy ass. You know,
I mean, everybody, bro. Have you not seen a swordfish?
I've seen many, so I'm gonna go run up to Hugh Jackman like, "What's up, bro? Wolverine."
All right, then. We'll say no more then.
Boxing voice.
If you seen swordfish, then you know what I'm talking about.
Quickly though, just to get off of whatever Mike's talking about with Halle Berry and his obsession with her, which I can't blame because it is Halle Berry.
Thank you.
And she was Beyonce before Beyonce in terms of like sex symbol. So I'm not gonna hate on that. Though to bring it back to boxing, that epilogue sort of last montage that Jim Lampley narrated over, that was amazing stuff. Honestly, like they could have just played that and I would have been good. Like I didn't need fights. I didn't need them to go to the Step Up Center with no one there, with fights that aren't relevant for their division. You know, like I didn't need that. I needed that epilogue though. I needed Jim Lampley narrating the history of HBO boxing and setting the record straight. I like that.
Should have been longer. Should have been longer. That could be like an hour straight.
That could be a documentary.
Exactly.
You know what they should have did, and this would have been a great closing. If they want to keep my HBO subscription as a boxing fan, right? Let's say they don't want to do no more boxing. They want to get into this documentary because they had to make Jim Lampley hype up a surfing documentary, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't care. But the thing is, you want my attention. You want me to keep my HBO subscription fan base or my extra money every month as a boxing fan. You don't want to do boxing no more. Bring back legendary nights. You bring me all those hardcore legendary documents of all these modern fights that we didn't know. Go so in depth of the fights that we've seen, all the Mayweather behind the scenes, the Pacquiao, the Margaret. Bring me more legendary.
Right. You know, difficulties because that's a different network. You know, they would have to.
I get that.
Permission to all those rights and pay so much money to a competing network.
And then when you do that, somebody's gonna steal your fucking idea.
You know what I don't want?
They gotta ask ESPN. They gotta ask Showtime. Now they gotta ask DAZN. They got. I mean,
so quickly. I don't know really how much HBO owns in terms of library. They don't have Top Rank's library anymore, right? Top Rank took their library with them to ESPN. That obviously is a concern because Bob Arum promoted a lot of the Ali fights back in the day. He promoted a lot of the big fights that we know about with HBO over the 45 years. So I think this has a semi-good point there, obviously. But HBO, to sort of address what Ron is saying, if HBO wanted to really keep boxing fans around and they want to do documentaries, they should have A, the financial capital to get licensing rights to footage they need, or B, have some sort of rights to it in some fashion. Something. They should have something to make documentaries for us boxing fans.
Let me keep it real. I don't need another Muhammad Ali documentary. Like I love Muhammad Ali.
You're getting one. You're fucking gonna get one next year.
That's the point, though. That's
Muhammad Ali documentary. Like, why can't I get Modern Times? Because
they don't respect our fighters, dog.
Nope.
That's why our generations has podcasters and YouTubers that cover the sport because mainstream America doesn't care about our sport, bro.
That's why ESPN is doing a 30 for 30 on Tuesday or Thursday about the Mike Tyson and the events that led up to the fight.
See, like shit that we don't give a fuck about, like that shit.
They've already made before. That's the thing. It's shit that they've already made before. There's already like the definitive documentary on Ali out there. There's the definitive documentary of Mike Tyson out there. Even we had the Four Kings documentary way back in the day. That was like the definitive guide of Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Tommy Hearns, and Roberto Duran. Like you said, Ness, we don't have anything of the last really 20 years.
Right now, with the skills of an HBO, Showtime, and a DAZN, they could choose to do the four kings of this generation and say it's Crawford, Spence, Porter, Thurman, and build it up and say, will we ever get Earl, the infamous Earl Spence versus Crawford that everyone's talking about, and just leave it out there? We'll gobble that up. Like, I don't understand what their missions are these days. That's all.
I'm okay with them holding off on like that content. I'm okay because the story is still to be told with a lot of these guys. But like the Miguel Cotto era, like the mid-2000s era, there should be documentaries on that era, and there's not.
For Mayweather era, I mean,
they could definitely highlight Tito and Oscar, even and
Bernard Hopkins,
Roy Jones Jr. doesn't really have any sort of documentary about him.
The only thing Roy Jones got is fucking Beyond the Glory, man. I'm tired of watching that shit.
Bernard might need some. I mean, Bernard is a real good one.
Bernard is great.
that coming from jail story would be, motivational. It would probably help a lot of kids. There's a few.
Jermain Taylor.
But I still am all for current. Like I would like them to highlight, Thurman Keith, because that's how you bring more relevance to the
Thurman Keith. Thurman Keith.
Y'all laughing, but y'all act like that Jermain Taylor wouldn't be fine.
If they want the welterweight division to be back like when Floyd had it, that's all they really need is Thurman Keith Thurman. But I would like them to highlight Danny, Sean, and make a documentary, saying these are this generation's best, and will we see a time and match it with the, bring in the older folk by saying, the Hagler, this is our Haglers and Leonards and whatever, even though some people were going to, twist their nose up and say, no, they're not as great and all that dumb shit.
Hopefully the shoulder programming that Fox is going to have, like their once a month show, like maybe they put a lot of like documentary style content on that show.
Shout out to Mike.
Did.
Got a chair on that, bro.
Yeah.
Dudes are moving up. A lot of people moving up. Shout out to Steve Kim. He's with ESPN now. Wow.
Maybe that's why he was so against HBO and Pro Top Rank. Just saying.
I mean, but it's not like he was lying. The video was proof. Like he can be, a little
professional.
Yeah, he could be unprofessional in his tweet, but the video was true.
Well, I mean, think about it. He said this.
I don't get why you do that, because I feel like you're drawing a line in the sand with Clarissa.
Exactly. And shout out to Max Kellerman for going over to ESPN and getting his own little show starting next year. And also he's gonna be on like I guess the big fights, because they said he's gonna be on like special events or whatever. So the big fights you probably can expect Max Kellerman to commentate.
Which is great. Max Kellerman was the best part of HBO commentary for years.
I like Roy Jones too. I like Roy Jones too.
The thing is, the highlight, Jim Lampley also said, look, this is probably going to be the end of my, sports commentary. And, at that point, they brought Larry Merchant, for just nostalgic reasons. Roy Jones also put out saying, like, look, this was a blessing. I didn't really ask for it. It was just something he put me in, and it was a great opportunity. So he's open for it, but he's not going to seek for commentary position. So they're like, look, if you want it, I'll see it. Maybe I'll try it. And if it works. So, these guys are very passionate about the sport, and, hopefully they can still be somewhere, regardless of their views and if you feel some are biased or whatever.
Honestly, let me jump in and just say they need to buy them for DAZN. What I was listening to yesterday is just not good.
Not working.
Not good enough. It's just not good enough, man. I don't even know what happened to Sergio Mora. Where'd they take him at? Like, what? Who?
I mean, it was a like Sky Sports thing, so they just use Sky Sports commentary,
and that's fine. But that's my problem right there. And listen to me, as a consumer, DAZN, you are selling DAZN USA. I should not be listening to these dudes from the UK. The content can be from the UK, but have Sergio Mora call the shit with some other American or someone that sounds good. And I'm not talking about the UK sounding accent, because I want that to be clear. They weren't doing it for me. Like, again, easy. So there is no bias here, right? Barometer. They're not Showtime. They're not HBO. So if HBO's team is available, they should seek them out.
And quickly, obviously they're trying to save down on costs. They don't want to ship out, Sergio Mora to the UK. The way to avoid that, have them off-site. DAZN must have some studios in New York or DC or LA. Send Sergio Mora and one other guy out there, watch the fight on the screen and commentate on it with us. Like, you could easily do it, and obviously still cut down on costs enough, but still give a consumer like Ness what he wants, which is your own commentary team.
Not to mention HBO's done it dozens of times.
Showtime has done it dozens of times. Yeah, I mean,
started telecast saying we're remote because this, Frotch and whatever's happening, Frotch versus that other kid, George Groves, is happening in the UK. You know what I mean? They didn't go over there, or maybe they did, but so what? There was other fights that happened just like that. Boom.
Let Akim and Barack do it if it's like offsite. Add a little
Yeah,
flavor to
why
it.
not? Give them their shine. They,
Yeah, add a little flavor to it.
The content for the zone, they deserve, like, the small events where they can do off-site commentary. Why not give it to Akim Barack? Why not?
So let's talk about DAZN's 24/7.
I haven't seen it.
I didn't watch it yet, man. I didn't watch it yet.
Ron,
So you want me to start it?
I don't know because
Okay.
you're talking to your mic.
No, I saw it. No, I watched it. I watched it and the All Access 3. Epilogue. I
That
watched
shit
those.
is. I'm like halfway through that. That shit is pretty good.
But no, I like what Canelo what they did with the zone. They did a lot of humanization of the fighters. They showed their struggles. I don't want to give too many spoilers out of it, but there was a moment.
Someone ain't watch it by now. Their problem. I'm about to go check out.
Okay, well, fuck it. There's a point where they showed the struggles in the when Rocky Fielding was at the Tony Bellew fight, and he was watching Tony Bellew fight Usyk, and he was like watching Tony Bellew struggle in the later rounds and get knocked out. It kind of showed like, holy shit, like that's my own brother from Liverpool. This is serious. And then he went to Canelo and he showed his brother when he fought.
That was a
Brandon
great moment.
Rios.
Yo, Canelo was not happy. That was a good moment. I like that they had him mic'd up for that. He had to watch his brother get beat up and be mic'd up. And then, he heard someone on the telecast say like, oh, they shouldn't have stopped it. And he was like, what the fuck? You want him to kill him? Like, yo, that was pretty dope. I liked it.
And I think that's when you can actually kind of connect with Canelo more, because Canelo's the mainstream guy. People, hey, look, he lost to Gennady Golovkin. That's how they feel. But then when you see that, you kind of pull back and like, oh, damn, I can relate. I can feel like, damn, this is brother getting beat up in the ring. Like, you see the humanization, what the fighters go through, their fam. Like, that's what we want. We want to see that. It's more than just fighting. We connect because these guys come from these crazy backgrounds, adversities, the struggles, and you want to see that because, look, when Mayweather was on top, he seemed like this unbeatable guy. So you always kind of wanted to root for the underdog. But once a fighter becomes mortal or get humbled, or you see the human-like behaviors, you kind of connect to them. And that was a great moment. They really captured Canelo pissed off with his brother getting beat up in the ring. Like, that was probably the best moment in that. They did a great job showing who Canelo really was outside of the ring.
I'm happy to see Canelo grow as an entertainer. I remember when he started, he didn't even want his daughter on camera, and now he's got his new daughter on camera, full blown, not blurred out, and he has his girlfriend or / wife actually in camp and on camera. And I just like this new Canelo. Damn, he's badass. I mean, what was that Lamborghini truck? Then he had the fucking Mercedes jacked up and the G5 truck. Man, he's fucking learning, bro. He's really like getting into this role of a like Mexican James Bond ass dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, Canelo, and he's got so much skill, right? Like, who's picking him to lose? Like, and it's crazy because Rocky's a whole nother division above. But I guess, Rocky can't be that much better than Julio César Chávez, right? Jr.
And quickly, I mean, Canelo's been a superstar for how long? Like, honestly, like, he's been a superstar in Mexico since he was, 18? 17? He's been on Azteca TV doing tens of millions of views before he was ever on HBO or not HBO, Showtime, and doing numbers. Like, Canelo, we've seen him grow in the ring and out of it over almost a decade now, or plus a decade, probably over that. So I'm not surprised that, like you guys are saying, like we have seen a grown up Canelo, a elder statesman Canelo now at 29 years old, early in his life.
Is he 29 already?
I think he's 29. Yeah,
and he's 29. I thought he was a little bit younger than that.
I could be wrong. Maybe Ron can fact check my math stats there.
I think me and Canelo are the same age. That's how.
Okay. Oh, yeah. How old are you, Ron?
I'm 28.
I'm 28.
Yeah, you couldn't just say, "Hey, I think it's 28." You had to say,
"Yeah, you know what I'm saying." Involve me into it.
Ron, how old are you? I think Canelo's 28. What?
Canelo is 28. Looks like
when's his birthday? When's his birthday? Am I close?
18th.
Damn, I'm not close. Damn it. Fuck. I was a year off. But anyways,
from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico is where he comes.
It wasn't too long ago that we saw Canelo struggle with guys like Laura and not really look like the next boxer in the next great. What was that?
That was a long time ago, bit.
It was only like 3 or 4 years ago, man. Like
4 years, kid. That's 8 fights, right?
But 3 to 4 years isn't that long. You have to understand this, Ness. Like it.
No, I think it is long only because we only get to see these superstars twice a year. So it's like that was 8 fights ago.
Yeah, the Mayweather fight was 5 years ago. You know, we've seen him change a lot since then.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you go from, okay, yes, he did have that moment where I thought he robbed poor Laura. Poor Laura deserved that win. He had the immigration story, you know, defecting, all that great shit. He deserved that win. But, dude, after that, I mean, he bodied. That was like a career highlight win over Kirkland. Then he had a great fight with Cotto. I know Cotto thought he won, so I guess there could be some slight controversy, which really is never brought up, so I'm going to say no. He had a good fight versus Cotto. Then he bodied Khan. He destroyed Liam Smith. He destroyed Chávez. Then, you know, tight fight with Golovkin. I want to say most of the public thought he lost. He got the draw. Then, in my opinion, he outclassed Triple G in the second one. I mean, he's on a roll, and that was a long time ago.
And again, that echoes what he's done outside the ring as well. Like, he is now the biggest superstar in the sport. He just is.
Yo, but his resume is a little bit soft. I just read it out loud, and it's like, damn. I mean, okay, yeah, Cotto and Gennady.
What about
Well, I mean, the Laura fight, he did still fight Laura.
Yeah, but that was after, right? Like after Laura, it was like Cotto and Gennady. A lot of safeties. Like, let me just show you some facts here, right? So it was like Laura, which they both were 54. Then it's like Kirkland. We all knew he was out of the ring for a year. He wasn't trained by Ann Wolf. Like, this is the asterisk they don't put on box, right? He wasn't trained by Ann Wolf, and, you know, he just wasn't the same version of himself. So, yeah, but he looked great. That's why it gets brushed over. And he, meaning Canelo, looked great in knocking Kirkland the hell out.
Chávez Jr.?
The Cotto fight, I mean, okay, cool. But look, Cotto was never the size of Canelo. Canelo did start at 47, but he's always a big 47-pounder. Cotto was always a natural 47-pounder. This fight was fought at 54. Cotto, again, wasn't his younger self. You know, Canelo was the younger, fresher fighter. Then Khan, 147-pounder, they moved up. Liam Smith, a UK domestic level dude, they moved up. Well, not domestic. He won a world title. Excuse me and apologize, UK. You know, 154-pounder, they moved up.
They didn't move him up.
What?
Canelo.
Yeah, you're right. And anyway, it doesn't even matter because Canelo's 54. Like, even though he started at 47, he moved to 54. But I mean, they were just safe fights. Like, that's a safe fight. Chávez safe fight. Khan safe fight. You know, then it's like Gennady.
Right.
At the right time, though. At the right time, because remember, Gennady wanted him ever since Miguel Cotto. Was legitimately when we had to put our foot down and be like, all right, yo, he deserves a shot now. You know, but way back when, you know, Cotto was fighting, Canelo was fighting Laura and Kirkland, and before the Miguel, it didn't even make sense for him to fight Gennady before Miguel Cotto.
Yes. Well, remember, like, it really became a big deal when he fought Amir Khan, when he fought Liam Smith. You know, he became the lineal middleweight champion, went back down to 54. That was the controversy at that time. I
think the controversy was after he beat Cotto and became a real middleweight by winning the title. Then it's like, yo, you gotta fight Gennady now, and he didn't. Then it's fighting everybody else.
That is exactly what I just said.
No. I just wanted, like, the casual fan didn't know, because a lot of people were putting pressure on Canelo before even being a middleweight. It's like, oh, he got to fight Gennady. It's like, yo, this dude's still at 54. When he won that title, it was like he can't hide from that now.
I don't think that's necessarily right, Ness. I think there's a lot of pressure on Cotto before the Cotto-Canelo fight. Remember, everyone wanted Cotto after Sergio Martinez to fight Triple G.
Absolutely, but
the second Canelo beat Cotto, the criticism or the demand shifted to Canelo.
No. Google it. Abel Sanchez and Gennady have always been adamant that they wanted Canelo. Always. Yeah, Cotto had the belt.
But that was when they were saying they go up to 150, go down 154 or 168 and fight anyone except Andre Ward. So that was just Abel Sanchez doing Abel Sanchez-like things, right?
Everyone knew the money was
demand. I'm talking about public demand. The public demand did not come till after Cotto.
Look, wouldn't necessarily say the Cotto thing, because we've seen Cotto lose. We've seen, you know, Cotto move up and down in weight. He had that questionable fight with Martinez. Some people still kind of dispute it. And everyone knew Canelo. Everyone knew Cotto, but we understood that was the money fight. Many people picked Canelo to beat Cotto. That was a great fight for what it would be. But I do remember a long, long time people were really pushing the Canelo and the Triple G for a while. And I remember telling people, and they're like, give Canelo some time. Give him some time. It was a long time. They were pushing that. I remember it because finally when he got in the division, it was more like you can't avoid it. That was the buildup. It wasn't just he just got the Cotto fight and boom. Oh, we want no, people really wanted Canelo and Triple G to fight. I remember that very heavily.
Triple G fans wanted Triple G to fight the lineal champion. When it was Sergio Martinez, they wanted Sergio Martinez to fight Triple G.
Yeah, of course
when it was Miguel Cotto, they wanted him to fight Miguel Cotto. When it was Canelo, then they wanted Canelo. They always brought up Canelo because everyone knew Canelo was going to move up at some point, and that was a big money fight. But regardless, the public outcry for Canelo Triple G did not happen until after Canelo was a middleweight, which was after the Cotto fight.
Ayo, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but his name is Ayo. He said, when you say it out loud, that resume is all caps weak. I'm telling you, like, it is like he does have one of the best resumes, you know, because combined, but like
you can pick apart any resume. Come on, we can pick apart any resume.
That little stint right there was like, I mean, but he still took on the two best, Cotto and Gennady.
And look at Liam Smith post that fight.
Wait.
Look at Liam Smith post that fight. He's going to beat Liam Williams. He went on to give Munguia a really tough fight that was close.
Well, I don't know about tough because he got knocked the fuck out. But
no, he get knocked out.
It went
that was decision, fam.
Yeah, that was a decision. Yeah, Liam Smith tough as fuck.
Fam, what are you talking about?
Goddamn right.
I felt like, did he get dropped?
No.
I remember Liam Smith.
Well, maybe
that's, but I thought he got knocked out.
I think he did. There was a point where he was in trouble.
He maybe did get dropped,
but he didn't get stopped. And that's what we were waiting. Does he have the power like Canelo? That was the whole argument then.
Yeah, remember everyone thought that was gonna be a soft touch in a sense, and it turned out to be like a tough, like competitive fight. Liam Smith was putting hands. He was outboxing Munguia early in the fight. I remember he was using the jab better. Like Liam Smith put it on Munguia. Munguia had to work. That was his toughest fight.
That was a fun opening rounds. I remember that, but I remember Munguia taking over. That's why I thought he stopped him.
No, that was a round.
Everyone was, even you were like, he's not ready for this division, and that's when we tore apart. Who can he fight? The WBO route. He can't go the other way. He has to get a little bit more fights in, get a little bit more tune.
Unanimous decision. Who the fuck is Takashi Inoue? He's about to fight. Jamie.
69's Japanese cousin.
You sure it's not Inoue's bigger brother?
They're all related.
Call him 96.
One big family. Call him 96.
So we got we got to get to Joshua. I mean,
hold on. Just touch up like on like the fights over the weekend. Ladarius Miller won on Friday night. He's a Mayweather promotions fighter, and also Philip Hrgovic beat Kevin Johnson on points.
Yeah, yo. So
and Michael Sullivan got a victory too.
And also quickly, Rene Alvarado beat what's his name? The guy that fought Ryan Garcia. That was a cool fight. Carlos Morales. And now I set up for a Machado fight on Facebook Watch, which was a horrendous card to watch. Oh my god!
They did have a historical fight.
They had more people there than HBO.
They had three more people, which meant they had three people.
Yo, so I'm just interested in Flip Hrgovic.
I haven't seen this fight.
Going the distance. Now his distance was 8 rounds. I'm gonna look it up to see how many rounds did
10. Dubai went 10.
Oh.
I mean, Kevin Johnson been proven to be like a fucking a tough motherfucker.
I mean, he's that's what he is. He's a gauge.
Well, the only knockout loss in his career is against AJ, isn't it?
Yeah, AJ. Yeah, I believe it. Rob was bragging about that.
Lift off for AJ. This is interesting because this guy's moving up the rankings now. Where's he at? And I'm gonna look him up myself because I need to have him there anyway. Because he's moving up and he's gonna be a BC opponent eventually.
BC?
Absolutely, dude.
Okay.
He might take those opportunities before Adam Wanaki. Like, I don't know. Is Adam really gonna take his WBC ranking when it's time? You know, some guys don't feel they're ready. But Flip looked like he's coming. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to watch this fight. If anybody could send me a link, I need it.
I'll find one.
I want to see this dude. I seen the one with Amir Mansour, but only clip. So I'll take both of those.
Yeah, I definitely want to see this because he's been making like a lot of noise lately. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to see him, and he's been very active.
Yeah, I was about to say he's fighting like every other 2 weeks and shit. Look, he fought in September. Now he's fighting in December. He fought in June. And he fought in February, bro. And he fought in April. Like this year, this dude had 5 fights and flew up the rankings. Okay,
Matt, isn't he with the Sauerland promotions, like Sauerland guys?
I believe so, yeah.
Gotcha.
He is, and he's 16 on BoxRec, which we know those rankings don't mean nothing. Those are based on points, but it's still a good gauge and barometer. In front of him is Charles Martin. Again, we just talked about Adam Wanaki, and will he take his shot? Adam Wanaki beat Charles Martin. In front of him is Marco Hook because this is a point system. Hook is really a cruiserweight, but I don't know, whatever. Christian Hammer, common opponent with Tyson Fury. That's number 13. In front of him is Brian Jennings, number 12. He's got a fight with Oscar Rivas, who's not even in the top 15. Derek Chisora, number 11. Joseph Parker.
Quickly though, because obviously we know what names we're about to say. All those names I think are a little bit too soon. Maybe a Charles Martin, I'd obviously accept that, but all the other names mentioned, I'm not.
I think that Hammer would probably be the best one to make.
Hammer is another good one that I could see happening.
He fought Povetkin too.
Dylan White also fought him, I believe, as well. So that's a guy that's a veteran like a Kevin Johnson, a little bit long in the tooth that you can get your name on and get that scalp under.
And Hammer beat David Price by knockout that I believe last year.
Just for more context on BoxRec, Flip is above Robert Helenius, who Dylan White beat, above Andy Ruiz, who Joseph Parker arguably controversially beat, Sergey Kuzmin, who also beat Amir Mansour, Michael Hunter, who just moved up to heavyweight but lost to Usyk at cruiserweight, and above my Chinese heavyweight, Zhonglong Zhang, aka Zilly Zhang Bang. So he's ahead of Thomas Adamek, who just lost to Big Baby Miller, and Lucas Brown, who got knocked out but just came back winning versus somebody that was very fat and looked like he was from Hawaii. Duopai also under here. Spielka, Huey Fury, Maurice Vach, Nathan Gorman, who's on the come up. But this is what I'm saying. Flip with, what he's got? 6 fights? 7 fights? How many was it? Anybody want
8? He got 8 fights.
With 8 fights is already ahead of Nathan Gorman. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's flying. He's ahead of the undefeated Oscar Rivas. Like, Rivas is on 33. So I'm interested. I'm pretty sure this dude is going to jump the rankings. I'm calling it. I'm pretty sure he's going to jump the rankings and take a shot at Wilder or someone like a Brazil to get a shot at Wilder before most of these other guys. How old is he, Mike? You guys BoxRec pull?
Yep. I got to pull it up. He actually has 7 fights, not 8. And he is 26.
Oh, so he's really young. Oh, he has time.
Oh, no. So he might not go for that shot. He might.
6'6".
If he's smart, he takes some time.
Why is he rushing then?
Well, Kevin Johnson isn't necessarily a rush anymore, like, unfortunately. Like, he's sort of like a Carlos Molina for Josh Kelly. Like, that's not really a rush like it was 5 or 10 years ago, right?
I mean, to be fair, Amir Mansour and Kevin Johnson in back-to-back fights.
Yeah, bro.
That's tough. For like 5 fights, though, Matt. 5 fights, then you go Amir Mansour and Kevin Johnson back-to-back.
No, I understand that. Like, that's obviously fast for a prospect of his level. I'm not disputing that. But he can definitely pump the brakes, and there would be no, like, ill effect on his career.
Yeah, just for context, he can pump the brakes. Efe Ajagba is 24, and has 5 fights and isn't on this level, isn't being moved this quick. Again, for context, he's fought Tom Little already in his 3rd fight. That's a UK heavyweight that's been used over there. And then Mansour, in his 2nd to last fight, obviously Kevin Johnson is last. So, I mean, just keep your eyes on him. Hopefully he gets picked up by a network that could see him. I'm shocked that the Sullivans haven't, and they're not putting him on the fucking DAZN app. Like, this is whackage. But he looks aggressive. He's also a 2016 Olympian. He's a bronze medalist as well.
Damn.
Yeah.
Mention Sullivan's. Isn't there some issues with the World Boxing Super Series going on? And
We talked about that on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That they're running out of money and people haven't gotten paid yet.
Yeah, I actually called Regis Prograde's manager or I think assistant. I think it was the manager, Max or Sam. I forget his name, but he was just like he don't have much information on that because his fighter is getting paid. So
it's probably the undercards. That's what it sounds like because I don't think their main draws they would have probably voiced heavily. Maybe some undercard stuff going on, but hopefully that tournament does not get demolished.
Yo,
what's that for?
What happened with Josh Kelly?
Oh, it's a duck. Wow.
I ain't say it's a duck. What the fuck?
You got some sort of like viral infection or something like that. That's what he said.
They rescheduling that fight?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I'm like,
as he weighed in, it's not like he didn't miss the weigh-in. I think he woke up with the viral infection. They canceled the fight day of, which has happened before. That's not unheard of in sports.
So Eddie Hearn says Wilder Fury hasn't been ordered by the WBC so that AJ and Wilder still could happen. Plus, he's saying like, yo, I'm not allowed to talk. I've been told not to talk. So he's insinuating that there's negotiations. I mean, how long has AJ been talking about fighting Wilder?
I'll admit, I really, really don't care about this. Similar when like Frank Warren says like, oh, AJ's fighting Usyk. Like I kind of tuned that out because it's a different promoter. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Eddie Hearn saying, oh, the WBC didn't order this. They only sanctioned it. That's just promoter talk to big up his guy and push down the other guys. Like it is what it is.
But is he bigging up or putting down, or is he just giving you
the facts? I mean,
no, not even. Is he giving you hope, saying, "Look, this doesn't really mean that the fight can't happen"?
Well, let's
wait. What hope for what? Wait. Do we not want Wilder versus Fury the rematch?
Well, Matt, that's what I'm saying.
We do, right? But he still has a fraction of fans and his own fighter that's telling him and actively saying, "Seek out this fight."
I think
don't get it twisted.
I think AJ fans want the Tyson Fury rematch.
And don't get it twisted. If Eddie makes AJ versus Wilder, we all be happy as fuck. Go ahead, Ron.
Well, I'm saying like, look. There's a high chance of Wilder Fury is going to happen, right? So what do you do? You create an opportunity where it says, look, there's room, or I tried, or there was an opportunity for us to make the fight. You always want to make that opportunity as an option. So at that point, it could be maybe serious, or maybe he just wants to make sure that I am painting the picture that we could have, but they chose that route.
So
PR optics in a way.
I think it's a lie that he's quote unquote not talking in public because negotiations are happening, or is this just all narrative?
I think it's PR optics. I'll be 100% honest. I don't think Wilder or Fury is seriously negotiating with AJ and Eddie. I don't think that's happening.
All right. Well, so what's up with this Old Trafford thing?
Old Trafford. That's the soccer stadium, whatever.
Old Trafford. And it is the soccer stadium, yes, of Manchester United.
Okay, give the public some facts now.
I think it's a 75,000 seater. Obviously, Fury and Frank Warren have been pushing for the rematch to be there. That's all I know. I don't think there's anything. There's not more information we know about it since the week after Wilder Fury. Nothing's changed.
How do you guys feel about that as fight fans? Should the fight go over there? Does Fury, I guess, deserve to call the shot on where it happens because of public perception?
Nah, I think you go where the money is, period.
I really don't care. Like if it's in Vegas, LA, New York, or Manchester, I really don't care. I just want to see the fight.
Exactly.
I think it goes more on Wilder's side if he wants to try to make a statement that he's willing to go over. Outside of that, Fury's already, I think, voiced like, hey, let's do it over to the UK. So it really just goes down to like where the restrictions are at. And it seems like it's going to either Wilder says, no, let's go here, or let's go there.
Before a two-part question, can they still sell us Americans the pay-per-view? And
hell no.
I mean, they can. They just don't do it. But it just would be a 5 o'clock Eastern pay-per-view and a 2 p.m. Pacific pay-per-view. I don't know why they don't do it, honestly. Like, there's been a market concern about it from HBO and Showtime for a long time. Hopefully that's changed because they can do it. Why can't they?
And I'm going. If the rematch happened, because I was gonna say, are y'all going? So I was just gonna say, let me just lead off with I'm going.
Yes.
Like I would find something to do out there, whether it's an appreciation night, or like me and Mike talked about in an Untitled, a TBV barbecue. But I think I want to be wherever this fight is. I felt good in LA. I liked being there during the fight. I felt good watching it amongst my friends. And I think I called it fairly because I gave Fury tons of credit for his boxing ability. So yeah, I think that the atmosphere in the UK is going to be very energetic. I was there with Wilder when he went to Belfast. So yeah, I would want to do that shit again. Not that I like the UK because it was very cold, very wet, very gloomy looking. But the fact that everywhere you turn, you can talk boxing. I mean, people bought me drinks and we talked boxing. I mean, my coffee was an Irish coffee because it had a drink in it. We talked boxing. So all that shit is dope. And I want to experience that again. And as a Wilder fan, I think it is important, if not better, unless he tells me, yo, Ness, the economics make better sense in America for us, we ain't going over there. He's already been on record saying he's a world champion, want to defend his belt internationally. And I think you make more of a statement if you go to the UK and knock out Fury. There's no place for AJ to hide.
Oh, no. Can't hide no more.
That statement is so much louder to AJ. Would the knockout be louder in America? Probably. But for AJ and Eddie Hearn and the Sheep, it's just like, boom. We damage control. What do? We have to do something, which is make the fight. And
now, let me ask you a question.
It's just beautiful.
I know this probably won't make no fucking sense and probably be stupid fucking question, but if the rematch happens and it's at 5 o'clock in the daytime, why do a pay-per-view and why even put it on cable? Why not just put it on your YouTube channel?
Because you're not going to generate as much revenue.
That's true, but you could generate revenue from the advertisement when people go back and watch it again.
Do you realize what YouTube ad rates are like compared?
Oh yeah. But I'm
Okay.
saying
that's why. Like that's
if you want to get this man to be a star in the United States, people are not going to buy a pay-per-view.
He already is a star.
Mike, I was going to say.
Let me tell you, bro, that. Oh, actually, I don't even have to do that anymore. I could just play it. This is officially real internet viral.
To this day.
That's everywhere. Like, did you see the amount of different memes that the Shade Room found and did like one clip on Instagram of like maybe a dozen of those to this days? That they all had like so many views. Everybody's using it. That shit is really viral. Like that shit really went viral. So I think that definitely boosted. You know, they say all press is good press. That boosted, but you know, I'll piggyback you, Mike. I'll jump on you, man. They call me stupid all the time. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna jump.
I don't care about becoming stupid.
Exactly. I'm gonna jump on your bandwagon with you. Why can't they do a Paul Logan KSI pay-per-view? Like them dudes make bank.
Yeah, that's true.
So, let me just say before you cut me off, I know Matt wants to jump in and prove us wrong, but yo, that other dude, the Logan little brother, he trying to get fights with other dudes, like real dudes now.
He was in Ortiz corner.
Which means he liked the taste of that money. He's selling that. He's selling that popularity. He liked that. That pay-per-view made bank on top of the fact that them other channels they built just for that made bank. I'm sure
Seconds out grew fucking.
I'm sure that promoters that've been doing this forever could find better ways to make bank and still use YouTube. I don't think they have to I don't think that all the business plans are gonna say no, this is undoable because Huey Fury did it. They just did it wrong.
It's not undoable. Like YouTube pay-per-view, like I'm not gonna really argue against that concept because I like the concept of it. However, the business of it for Showtime, it makes zero sense when their subscriber rate on YouTube is what 300 something thousand, 500 something thousand. When they have 20 something million subscribers on linear TV, they can promote it through that. Even though it's pay-per-view, they're not getting obviously all the subscribers to pay the pay-per-view, but that's what they're drawing from. For the YouTube pay-per-view, they're drawing from a much smaller subscriber base. I think that's the reasoning behind it fundamentally.
And my other thing is if the first one did very successful, it was a pretty good first pay-per-view. I'm sure the second one's going to just be easier for them to promote. Probably use less amount of money, and even if they did use the same amount of money,
they're going to use the knockout. They're going to use the knockout.
Knockout.
That.
Yeah. Also knockout. Also, quickly, Ness, like Showtime does have like digital streaming buys. They can go Showtime anytime. That's what we did at the Airbnb, right? So to go to YouTube pay-per-view, you immediately limit yourself when it comes to linear TV. I don't know if you can have a YouTube pay-per-view and then go back to DirecTV, Dish, Xfinity, whoever, and say, we want a pay-per-view on your platform. I don't know if that flies because you're immediately cutting into
bridges
market in entertainment.
See, if they came up with this is all hypothetical here.
Boxing YouTube, fuck it.
No. They gotta find a way. I get what Matt is saying. So they gotta find a way to do it both. The only way to do it both is to cut the price. That's the only way. You cut the price on your linear TV. Hypothetically, let's say that the $40 range works, $39.99, right? So now you make it $39 for your subscribers, but you also make it $39 on YouTube. This way you don't lose.
You do lose though because the linear pay-per-view takes half while YouTube doesn't take that much, right?
Exactly. So you don't lose.
Quickly,
YouTube, so you don't got to share that pay-per-view.
The issue isn't necessarily Showtime wanting to do that. I think Showtime, if they could do that, they would. If they could have YouTube pay-per-view, Showtime anytime pay-per-view, linear TV pay-per-view, they could do it all. They would. It's that those distributors don't want to do that.
Nah.
So YouTube will say, Showtime, you can have a pay-per-view with us, but you cannot go on to DirecTV, Dish, and your distributors over there and have pay-per-view with them. Because we want to corner the market. We want to corner this event and what it can produce.
Don't y'all think that more people have YouTube than they have Showtime?
Not only that, I'm not going to say that more people have YouTube. I'm not going to get into that argument. But what I'll say is that I trust the YouTube algorithm over the linear TV algorithm, okay? I have televisions throughout my house. If I could fit one in my bathroom, there'd be one there. They never tell me, which I know that they do, but they don't do a good enough job of telling me what's coming on. Like, for instance, yesterday's boxing event on HBO, I got no notification, hey, you should record this because guess what? You like this content. Before anyone interrupts me, just get my concept. YouTube mimics what we do. They recommend to us what we like. And I think that the other part that we're leaving out is the algorithm. Once this thing hits YouTube pay-per-view and we all start buying and we all start hitting like and we all start commenting and engaging, YouTube says, holy shit, this is hot. Now they promote it, which helps the pay-per-view. That doesn't happen on linear TV. 5 million of us can buy the pay-per-view. It doesn't make it show up on our television anymore and say, hot, trending, Wilder pay-per-view too. No, that doesn't happen. On YouTube, that happens. And it happens on your desktop, on your television, on your smartphone, everywhere.
Well, my other thing is that you have to look at the demographic that goes into it and commits and buys. Like if that's something that's going to end up being a loss, let's say like you try to go to the more trendy routes and things like that, are you going to lose the ones that are already familiar with the old school ways? If you can split both, that's perfect because then you can introduce more. But there is a market of people who just don't do that, unfamiliar. It's a lot of
that's
like,
why
even the apps.
Ron, lower it so that you can give it to your subscribers and still give it to YouTube.
I don't think lowering the price has any bearing in that. Again, I think it's the distributors. Some distributors want to work with the entity, some do not. And again, YouTube is a direct competitor and trying to kill cable companies.
True.
They are.
And remember,
I wouldn't say that because my cable company has embraced them. It's like I've told you guys over and over on this show. My YouTube channel is now connected with my cable box. I just say YouTube to my control. It's already with even Netflix. Like cable knows that you guys, the millennials, are cutting them, so they're embracing us for the older generation. And that's what I'm saying. Like the pay-per-views that the networks, and I'm using air quotes, are scared to lose are my father and my mother. But me and you, I'm older than you, but still, I'm super tech savvy. And you are younger. You're supposed to be tech savvy. That's what I'm saying. They need to cast in that into the YouTube world because the Paul Logans sold more pay-per-views than Deontay and them. I'd be interested to see what those $10, 18 million pay-per-views did, and all the other stuff that they had going on, and then compare that to some of our events just for shits and giggles, because even if the numbers are really far, we still got to consider that those guys were essentially kids in the game with no promotional experience and still were able to be that successful, which was, to me, still amazing to this day.
Again, and the video will always grow, so you can add more and more advertising in it or whatever.
Revenue from it.
Yeah.
What we're talking about is obviously a huge paradigm shift. Like we've talked about it with DAZN, and that shift to streaming. This is another aspect of it, pay-per-view streaming. What really is the extent of that in the marketplace, and paradigm shifts in a massive economic structure takes time. It just does. Ness, I agree with you that probably YouTube pay-per-view or just online pay-per-view as a whole is the path of pay-per-view if we are to continue doing pay-per-view at all. And that's another discussion for a different time. But until that happens, it's going to be a slow process because the Peter Nelsons of the world, the Steven Espinosas of the world, unfortunately, they're going to be slow to change. They are.
Yeah, but won't
they're all still making millions off of the old paradigm.
Well, Matt, Matt, Iran, how do they not make more money putting it on YouTube, selling it to everybody? Because now they can charge Mexico a certain conversion just so that no one steals it. Charge Mexico a price that's decent and you still make money. Charge Canada a price. You know what I mean? Like it's still YouTube. YouTube is global, so sell it to the world.
But the thing is that's what Matt's saying. There's so many different countries and so many different lanes that there's TSN, over in Canada. There's other networks. You have to get in all of it. And even in certain countries like Mexico, they get a lot of fights pretty much free.
Guys are networks, bro.
Yes,
you're going independent. Doesn't that mean you're going independent if you go YouTube?
No, you could be a YouTube partner. Like there's been claims that YouTube, just like in the music industry, is now more like a music label, right? But tabling that for a second, the reason why it's maybe harder for a Showtime, for example, because Showtime is the one really doing pay-per-views right now, right? For them to thank YouTube worldwide, because in their mindset, they are predominantly a U.S. corporation. They're trying to make money in the U.S. And still to this day, more people have greater access to linear TV than the internet in the U.S. Especially in rural areas and places like the South, places a lot of states don't have great bandwidth, great internet connection. Internet service providers aren't as frequent or as plentiful as they are in Jersey, New York area, and California as they are in Idaho, as in Oklahoma, as in Alabama, as in Georgia. So linear TV is still a major, if not majority, of their revenue stream, and YouTube is a scary new thing. So it's gonna take them time to be okay with that, and especially when they're still making plenty of money in the old system. Yeah, that's not dead yet. TV is not dead.
And to add to Matt, there's a reason why we have the most expensive pay-per-view buys, and other places get it cheaper or even sometimes free. It's definitely
economic for the country.
Yeah, some places, the Canelo fights, Mayweather fights, Pacquiao fights has been free. Plenty of other places. But here is a reason why we pay 50, 60, 75. The UK fight for Tyson Fury and Wilder was a fraction compared to ours. Even if there's a bigger casual fan base in a certain country. I mean, it's just obvious that capitalism is in America, and they're going to try to milk everything out of what is the most sensible thing here, and that's sadly the most sensible thing in the U.S.
Shout out to Andre Diacono in the chat making good jokes, and the Watson twins might have to explain this to Papa Watson and Heyman. And even though Heyman comes from the music industry and he should know about streaming, he should know about how an industry should take advantage of an online function and monetize it. The music industry did that. Like, they took rid of illegal downloading of music by monetizing it. Boxing and overall sports has to figure out a way to do that. And it's going to take some time. It's going to be 5, 10 years, 15 years on the line. And then it's only going to be digital. But again, that's 10 years down the line.
Damn, CMHBJ Dog said that's true. I know people down here with home phones. My in-laws just discovered YouTube.
Yep.
But that's why I'm saying we can't let that YouTube. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just got a hustler's mentality. I ain't trying to leave no money on the floor and not fucking tapping into YouTube. You're leaving money there. When I could see 23-year-old kids selling over 18 million pay-per-views, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, why can't my sport make some of that dough? That's all. I just want my sport to get in on it. That's all.
And did y'all bring up that YouTube already has like a pre-existing like kind of deal with Showtime? Because you can like purchase the Showtime, or you can add the Showtime channel to like the YouTube $40 a month TV.
Well, yeah, just like PlayStation View, just like
yeah, exactly.
Cutting the cord cable subscription. Yeah.
That's the cutting the cable thing. So obviously all the non-cable things have the add-ons.
Yo, that thought went through my mind today. I received, it's the weekend, so you get all the bullshit mail, and I go through the bullshit mail, and I received this Fios message about $39 a month for 100 megabytes per second up and down, which obviously is phenomenal internet. To get 100 up, blow my mind. And I'm like, damn, $39. Could I be like the Rons and Mats of the world with all these little fucking apps and, streaming things? I don't know that I can. I kind of like channel surfing.
Ness, do you have Spectrum out there? Because Spectrum has a deal where it's like
no, we don't have Spectrum.
Oh, it's like $50-$60, 300 up, 300 down.
Whoa. But that's just internet.
Yeah, that's just internet. That's what I have.
Yeah, no, we don't
like the broadband though. Because like I had a question about that with Xfinity, and they was like, yeah, they have those deals, but something about like the broadband or the fucking bandwidth or something like that is not like the same or equivalent to like what Xfinity does. I don't fucking know. That's how she.
I mean, Xfinity got amazing. Now they're crazy. They're like 200 and some change on download and like 100 up. I'll do a test, see where I'm at, but I don't know how we got on this subject.
You're talking about cutting cords, basically.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do it because I'm a channel surfer. So how do you channel surf with no fucking?
Just get a YouTube TV subscription because that's technically cutting the cord.
Or Hulu TV, that's what I use.
Like I have PlayStation View, so I get 60 plus channels, ESPN, Fox Sports 1, all that stuff.
You got what?
But
PlayStation View.
PlayStation View?
Yes.
I use Hulu TV, but the thing
is,
I spend $70, but that includes HBO and Showtime.
Damn, 70 without your internet?
Yes.
But Matt, tell them how much the PS4 costs.
Yeah, but I bought that 5+ years ago.
I know, I'm just
you don't have to use PS4.
That's still expensive. You got a $400 PS4, then you got a $70 a month bill, plus you got another, let's say, $50 a month internet bill. You're talking about $120, and that initial $400 PS4, regardless that you bought it 5 years ago.
You don't have to use the PS4. I mean, granted, like it just there's things you can build your channel. So like you don't have to have, like, I don't need 70, 80, 90 channels. Like you can cut down to the channels you want and pay a lot less. Like I pay about 50, 60 for what I am. And at that point, I use Hulu TV. Now, PlayStation View, some of these things can't work everywhere, in other cities, but this is what they're doing. Like you said, you want TV in your bathroom, right? Obviously, there's Chromecast and AirPlay. I just got these Google Home hubs. Now I'm gonna get real techie. They're like $100. They're Google Homes. Now they actually have a TV screen on them. They've been about $100. Check. Now I know he's laughing, but check this out. I have this TV by my bed, this small little 7-8 inch. You can put it in the bathroom. You can do all these things. Now, at that point, you can cast and fling this everywhere. It's kind of what you know what a Google Home
I don't
is.
like. I got afraid. What's the other one? Alexa. I got afraid of Alexa.
Don't you have Alexa though?
No, got rid of it.
Oh, RIP Alexa, man.
I'm scared of that bitch too, cause she'll record when you don't tell her like to record.
Bro, the bitch just turns on, starts recording shit, and it's like, bro, starts asking you for shit, starts doing shit. I'm like, nah.
Your computer does that. Your phone does
your computer, your phone. Like if they want to get you, that's still get you.
I know that, but check this out. At least you don't know. Alexa makes it fucking obvious. Like,
Alexa makes it obvious.
He's not lying.
Room that's just staring at you and
it does kind of blow up the spot a little bit.
No,
tech companies.
Like, what do you want? It's like, yo, I'm not talking to you. I always found myself unplugging that shit. Like, nah, fuck that. This shit going back.
Yeah, but let's be honest, Ness, with how much data they know and how much data mining is done by social media apps, they got us all. It's over.
But again, all right, that's fine. But to have your conversations consistently recorded and is ridiculous. For someone to come to you, knock on your door like, Matt, we got this, transcript of your phone. You're like, damn, you've been recording my phone. Oh, shit. But no, you knew Alexa's doing it and you ain't doing nothing about it. That's your dumb ass fault. Fuck that. I took her out. She had to
look. Everything does that, man. You obviously right now are just talking right into it. If that's how you feel.
Yeah, I mean YouTube. You don't think there's cops or some programs where it's like certain words, they get
Facebook.
All right, you got
your webcam.
You're way minority.
Hold on, Ness. Did you see the movie with Will Smith, Enemy of the State with Gene Hackman? Remember?
Oh my god, great movie.
That was what almost 20 years ago now.
Is that
damn near? Hackman.
Actually, that's Enemy of the State. But you know one that was identical to that? Eagle Eye. Like those movies.
Eagle Eye was hard.
They're scary.
God, such a bad movie.
No, I like that.
Good. It was good.
That was before he went crazy.
He was always crazy.
Why that color man crazy, man? Look here. He tried rapping and shit. I mean,
did he really? I missed that.
I mean, he did like a freestyle on like Sway or whatever.
Oh, that's right. You're right. I remember that now.
Horrible, but
hey, I've heard worse.
Oh yeah, me too.
If you ever want to give Ness something, just get him an Alexa. He'll love you. Okay. Now we know.
No. It's funny that you say you want to gift something. I found really cool. I don't think I got to even text it to myself. Damn, bro. I came across this really cool book bag. I gotta find. Oh, you know what? I found it on a YouTube video, so I'll just look at my history, and I'll tell you guys. It's pretty cool. Everybody like it. Yo, you keep the strap on, and it's like, boom, it's time to work, and it fucking slings around, but the harness stays on the back.
Get the fuck out of here.
Swear to God. And
Get
then
the fuck out of here. Hold on.
By your camera, it's like for fast action. I'm gonna show y'all, yo.
It's time to work, and you so no. You say, hey, but backpack. It's time to work.
Man, what the fuck? No,
I'm just
time to work. Instead of taking your book bag off and sitting it on the floor and opening it up, it somehow drops down on a harness, swings around, and then you clip it. It's better to just hit y'all.
Okay. I thought you said you talked to it. Then that motherfucker did that shit. I'm about to say, nigga, what year are we in?
Hold on. Do we have callers? It's been 2.5 hours of us just talking.
We have two.
Hey man, Javier and who else?
Javier and who else?
Nah, it ain't Javier. It's actually Eno, and I don't know who else.
Shout out to my boy
intro though, because remember we got flagged for that.
Yeah, no, I can't play in those intro anymore. They keep
sad day, man. All right,
I'm trying to figure out what the fuck we got flagged for. Saturday morning, we didn't do shit.
Listen, I know Saturday morning is a straight error on someone's part.
Gotta be. We ain't do shit,
and it feels like
it's like that Pacquiao horn strike, where it's just like that makes no sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
like
we don't,
baby strike.
I mean, the only thing that someone can claim is the picture, which would be ridiculous.
Which never happens. That just doesn't exist on HBO.
Yeah, like all we did was talk boxing. We didn't do anything else. So it's just one of those things where you gotta wait, unfortunately, for someone to manually review it and hear you. Which is because yesterday we were flagged, right? And we still got to go live. It's like they decided late, like, you know what? You fucks are not going to go live.
Really?
Yeah. The video got flagged and took down.
Okay.
And then we still did a Kell Brook live chat. And then I woke up today, didn't even check. Then it was like time to schedule the show. When I went to schedules, when I got the notification within YouTube saying like, yo, your live streaming capabilities.
Yo, YouTube locked me out of my account the other day too. Like YouTube been fucking up on the low. Just saying.
Shout out to Terrence Bud Crawford and Brian McIntyre for winning the Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year and Manager of the Year. Big ups to those guys.
And then outside
the year,
Pat Manuel.
I mean, can we question that? Like,
great question.
To win Manager of the Year, shouldn't you be like, I don't know, managing a few fighters throughout the year? Like, so you get Manager of the Year based off the fact.
I'm not sure of all who he manages, but if they feel like to give him Manager of the Year and he deserved it, who am I to?
Does he manage Maurice Hooker? Does he manage Maurice Hooker as well?
But I'm not saying he don't deserve it at all. I'm just saying, like, what's the criteria?
No, Ness, can somebody answer me? Does he manage Maurice Hooker? I know Maurice Hooker trained with
I
him.
don't think so.
He was not on the call with me and Maurice Hooker. No, he was not.
Okay. Because like I could see that. Like if you have Maurice Hooker and Crawford, they've had 2 great years. Like they 2 had a fantastic 2018. So, but
yeah, Jamel Herring. That's what someone says.
Okay. Jamel Herring this Friday.
Herring say he's gonna get a title shot on Crawford's card versus Collazo that Crawford says isn't
Herring's at 135, right?
Actually versus Khan. I think at
135 or like 130 at one of those.
You can fight Loma.
Who?
Jamal Herring.
Damn, they gonna serve him?
Well, a title shot. Who else is in that stable at 135?
Vacation shot. I think he would have been clear with that one.
It's true. But I don't know who else has a title at 135. I don't think anyone else does.
Damn, yo. You can't even say Bob is serving him if he gives him a unification shot.
Wait, the IBF is vacant. Maybe him versus Richard Comey for a vacant belt?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Also,
Richard Comey got it made.
Gilberto Ramirez and JC Hart is on that card, and Mikael Miller is too.
And then an extra thing on that Facebook Golden Boy, they had Pat Manuel, 33, became the first transgender male to fight professionally in the United States.
Like, what? So hold on. It was a woman going to a male?
Yes.
And she beat a man? I mean, what? He beat a man?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you want to check that out, it's on Facebook.
You can check it out. I would advise you to just turn off the commentary because that Facebook commentary is such garbage. Oh my God. And you know what? Maybe, all right, I'll say it. There's something about that commentary team that is just highly sexist because everything they post or talk about when it comes to the DJ that's female or the MC that's female is purely about their looks. It's just weird. Like it's just a weird feel and vibe on Golden Boy Facebook cards. I hope this Zone Golden Boy cards does not have that feel.
Look here, I might be in the minority, but this whole like transgender like boxing, I mean, it's cool, but I think they should be like boxing each other because like Joe Rogan made a good point. If you got a male a man who's transitioned to a female, he has a fucking great advantage over any other female that he's gonna fight. I mean, what she is going to fight against because of the 20+ years that she was a man and the bone stretcher. So
the only high level example we have of that is Fallon Fox, and she lost like in her 5th fight.
Okay.
And that's never happened in boxing, from my knowledge. So it's kind of a overrated topic of conversation.
You're so inspirational, man.
I know. It doesn't matter. We can fucking get over it. Let's go to callers.
Yep, let's get to these callers, man. We got 2 of them.
I think that's a bit insensitive, man.
I think it is too, but
damn, man. You want to go pee? What the fuck?
No, like any sort of like outrage about it is ridiculous. Like I'm not saying Mike is outraged. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying like
if you are a male that's
not what we're talking about with this story that happened yesterday.
Yeah, but I'm saying it has to happen, all right. I mean,
it happened one time, and that person lost, and the second she stepped up.
I mean, it's probably gonna happen again.
Look, at the end of the day, man, this is a sport where you don't expect everything. Things happen, unexpected. Second chances are born in this fight. Look, I'm gonna embrace it. That's why I brought it up. It was a historical thing, regardless of it. If you got to go pee, go pee. We'll get to the callers. I just thought, at that point, someone was inspired by that. And
absolutely agree with that, Ron.
no, I'm just saying, Matt's just saying, I go to the callers. I don't know if you got to go pee, you got to do something. Whatever.
No, but it's just one of those topics. Like we can go around in circles. Like everyone has their opinion about it. Like there's no like factual like rule about transgender boxers right now in the unified rules of boxing. So it's all opinion, and we all have vastly different opinions and experiences with the LGBT community. So kind of just move on. Like it's in terms of the topics of relevance in boxing today. That's what 20, 30 on the topic list. So
hey, I'm just bringing news, man.
Callers first, our sponsor. Where is this other soundbite I'm looking for?
Brutal. Oh yeah, if you're doing any kind of holiday shopping,
go ahead, Mike.
If you're doing any kind of holiday shopping, man, go over to ThaBoxingvoice.com and click on the affiliate sponsors little tag right there, and go over and click on the Amazon link and bookmark that, and do all your shopping through that link. Thank you so much.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Oh shit, I gotta pull those up actually. So after this.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
All I'm gonna say is, where's the love, okay? Where's the love, all right? Don't let these sheep win. My real diehard boxing fans that love the show, if you haven't rated it already, you must do so because these sheep are coming for us.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
All right, first review comes from Bo Latham from the USA.
What star is it? What level?
5 star.
Ooh.
Best boxing media bar none. There is not a podcast born from its creator that can beat the boxing voice. I love that right there. I just really love that because it's got that whole Tyson Fury is not a man from his mother's cunt that can beat me. So that was beautiful.
Oh man, for real. I like that.
Let me just give you some air horns, my man. That was totally dope. The next one is from the UK and it's from James Moore. Shout out to you, my friend. And shout out to spelling my name with an ER. So I'm
how many stars?
5 star.
Okay.
I'm Nestor. Nestor, the US, Eddie Hearn. I love the title already. Shout out. Found this YouTube channel over a year ago now and haven't stopped listening since. The amount of content put out is amazing. It's sometimes hard to keep up. It can take me personally a couple of days to get through one show, listening to bits when I can, and by the time there can be another 2 shows put out. Got to respect the grind. The show can be very biased towards US fighters at times, but it doesn't bother me too much as it's always backed up with their fair judgment. They're fans at the end of the day, backing their guy, just like we do our sheep. The banter, and he put the emoji of the sheep. Shout out to you. Let me just give you a dope. See, this is what I'm saying. Tough skin right here. You see what I'm saying? Shout out to Jamie Moore with that leather skin. And he put the emoji of the sheep is where I ended, so I'll continue. He says, the banter is always great with the UK-US callers, and everyone always given fair time to voice their opinion, regardless of whether it's agreed with or not. Thumbs up button. Thumbs up emoji. And all around good listen for any boxing fan, from a casual to a hardcore, in any setting, whether you're in the gym, at home chilling, or driving to and from work. Okay, emoji. Thanks for giving me space to zone out from the world and the struggles of everyday life for a couple of hours a day and listen and talk my favorite sport. Boxing glove emoji. Oh, and just a heads up, the main host Nestor is very much like the U.S. Eddie Hearn, the guy you'll love to hate but won't stop listening to. Shout out to Rob the UK. I know you're listening. He called me today like, yo, why you say X, Y, and Z? Because I love you, Rob. Let me see. So we got one more, and it's called Bias Aggressive. Called me a pedophile. Let me play my soundbite.
How many stars?
Say that again.
Yo, is that Ian Kidd? What up, man?
Biased, aggressive, called me a pedophile. Really? Who could this be?
How many stars?
One.
How many stars?
Damn.
One.
Can you imagine if it was like 3?
I know, like 5, like, yeah.
No, sometimes people do like 5
know, right?
stars and then you write negative stuff. But
I love
they
you,
don't know
but fuck this shit.
Well, here we go.
horrible ass podcast. 5 stars.
Olivia Page Fix from the UK. I know whose wife this is. This podcast should be closed down. The broadcaster was aggressive to me when I went against, spelled totally wrong, AGAIST. His opinion.
It's probably how you spell it over in England.
Caps, by the way.
It's probably how you spell it over in England.
Look, this podcast should be closed down, period, was all lowercase. The broadcaster was aggressive to me when I went against his opinion was all caps, and then period. And then it says the reviews speak for themselves, which is ridiculous when we have over 700 5-star reviews. Stupido.
Go lose weight.
Oh shit. How you know he's fat? Or
she right?
Yeah, how you know she's fat?
Only fat people are do things like that. Pretty people are too.
Dude, that
pretty,
is so.
Bruh, look here, man. Pretty people and shape people. They're too busy getting talked to, getting hollered at. You know what I'm saying? Getting fucking howled among by the guys. Ooh.
Yo,
fat girls don't get that
kind of shit. I called somebody a pedophile, and I don't even know if this is how you spell pedophile because I never look up. But this doesn't. This sounds like he spelled pea soup. But anyway, let me go to.
Like it looks like it.
Looks like it. Let me go to New Orleans. NO. I'm sorry.
CSM. Oh, my bad.
I'm sorry.
I'm not in Little Rock, bro. I'm in Indiana. I won't be in Little Rock till December or the early January.
NO. He fell asleep in the truck. He sure did. Slow weekend. Truck driver's life. I have no. Oh, let me see. Vito on Skype. Vito.
Yeah. What's up?
Vito.
First of all, Mike, stop calling transgender she. That's not
I wasn't, bro. I literally tried to correct myself during my fucking speech. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful to anybody.
No. You're not being disrespectful. I'm just telling you we don't know what they are. They're not male. They're not female. They're it. That's what
I don't think that's the correct term.
No, that's not the correct term at all.
Okay, let's talk about
listen. First of all, I don't want to see that what my Mike what are you saying that's not the correct term? Can a female reproduce?
I mean, look, let's just.
It's not about boxing, man. It's about boxing.
I mean, we're just talking boxing, brother.
Yeah. But anyways, I don't want to see transgender in boxing, and I'll go back to the earlier part of the show where you talked about Isaac Dogboe. You know, I agree with you guys totally. That's what you get. I watched the interview where he said he spies brothers and all that, but that's what you get because he's actually a brawler. He has the heart. He has a good power behind his shots, but he's a brawler. I do see potential in him if he can get a decent trainer, a good trainer, you know. And I'm not just talking about the trainers like Abel Sanchez that are all brawl, no tactics, you know, kind of trainer. No. I'm talking about a decent trainer, a good trainer, like maybe Freddie Roach, you know, and he'll be good. So, anyways, Theo looked good, and Lomachenko, about Lomachenko, I'll say one thing for sure. I think Lomachenko is a victim of his own success because first things first, there's no champion that has surgery that comes back into a unification fight, you know. And I think people saying that Lomachenko did not perform well is actually taken away from Pedraza's performance, because he came with a good game plan. He was feinting a lot, you know, and he was moving, you know, and that's threw Lomachenko off track a bit. And also, how do you expect Lomachenko to perform really well? Because he just came out from a surgery, right? How many of the right hook did you see him throw?
Well, Vito, thank you for calling in.
That's a good point, Vito. I believe Tim Bradley and Andre Ward brought up that they didn't see a right hook until like the 11th round. But your view on everything else is kind of stupid.
Ignorant is probably the best phrase. And I want to say that turn it was. I thought he was going to come into Mike saying, Mike, you called him a she or whatever, right? And I thought he was going to be all extra PC. Man, that took a sharp.
I know, me too. So I tried to like hop in front of it and like be like, no. I mean, no, but he was like, fuck that.
That was a fucking car crash. Shout out to Vito.
John Wolf in Louisiana.
What up, John?
Yeah, I was talking earlier about people don't respect this generation of fighters, and I think it's because they don't fight the fights together. All the talented welterweight not fighting each other, and it seemed like it's gonna take a guy to get Wilder and AJ in the ring. You know, I think that's why. And I want to ask if y'all thought that the AJ and Wilder fight was big enough that it could be held outside of either the UK or the US, somewhere like Africa or China or somewhere that's like a neutral place, or is it going to have to be held somewhere in the US or the UK? That's my call.
John, thanks for calling in. We're going out to B. Paulie, Super Chat King. What it do?
What up, though, man? I'm at work. It's cold and a motherfucker out here. What up, Matt, man?
What up?
Welcome back, my dude. What's good? I ain't hollered at y'all in a minute. I've been in the Rich gang. I got jumped into the Rich gang. You know what I'm saying? I've been getting my snipe on, getting these cats up out of there. But no, look, that fight, the Lomachenko fight, it was a good fight, man. I thought, Pedraza did use a lot of movement, but he didn't have enough offense or pop, man. You know, but I think the way he fought was good. But it was like the best he can do. But we seen Pedraza do that a lot anyway. You know, a lot of defensive movement. But Lomachenko looked good. He didn't throw a lot of rights. He didn't throw a lot of right hooks. But I would want to see like the comparison between how many right hooks he threw this fight, which was almost none, and any other fight. Like, you know what I mean? To get some type of actual facts on it. But I ain't gonna speak on that LGBT shit, man. Motherfuckers can save that shit though. Like, nah, they need to chill with all that, man. We can't be promoting all this degenerate shit. But anyway, DAZN, man. I always said DAZN was good, bro. Like, but they production garbage to me, bro. Did y'all see that when Big Baby Miller fought? It looked like they was fighting in like a college or a goddamn community center, man. He was warming up before the fight, all in the kitchen and shit. Like, what the fuck? Did y'all not see that?
What the hell? No.
They were in Mulvane. They were in Mulvane, Texas, man.
He came out.
Mulvane, Kansas.
Boxing, like Tupperware in the background and shit.
No, bro, I ain't see that fucking. I ain't see him warm up, but I knew where he was fighting at.
He had a bed. He had a big bed.
Oh yeah, he did have a bed. That's right.
I mean, watch that fight. He was warming up, and it was a goddamn kitchen. He was in the kitchen where they prep food at a community college.
My nigga said a kitchen.
Look, they service is good because they be damn near flawless, but their production is garbage. Their commentary weak. Their camera angle's getting better, but you know, overall, I don't know, man. I'm just chopping it up with TBV, man. Super chat. Dogboe, he still can get it in, man. He's just a little guy. That dude was too big and he had too much heart. But what else, man? What other fights happened yesterday that was kind of straight?
Teofimo Lopez.
But you know. Oh yeah, Theo had that motherfucker looking like a statue out there, boy. Woo! That bitch played freeze tag and he got hit, boy. He fell straight on his face. I think, who y'all think Theo gonna fight next? Like, I see him whooping Devin Haney though, honestly. Who y'all see him
Man,
fight?
you heard what Tyson Fury said, man. You can't hit what you can't see.
Yeah,
Hey, yeah, that's true. That's a bad motherfucker, Devin Haney though, but that motherfucker got some pop though. That boy Theo got that pop. Well, hey, that's my time, man. Shout out TBV. Good luck, man. I'll catch up with y'all.
Thank you for calling in, B. Paulie. We're going to what looks like Los Angeles, somewhere 816. Wait, let me. Oh, wait a minute. Yo,
Could it be?
I'm truly dyslexic. I thought all this time I thought that was 818, and now I read it again as 816. What the fuck?
Yeah, you got bad eyesight, bro.
All these numbers.
You might need some glasses, man.
How about you need glasses? This is Zulu. What up?
There it is. You got me right, Ness, man. You know, 816. That's me, Zulu. How y'all doing, brothers? Good to hear y'all back at it again. I want to open up a discussion about Dogboe. I got to say something about Dogboe, and I want to get you guys' opinion, in particularly Mike. You there, Mike?
Yes, sir. Always here. What's up?
Hey, okay, brother Mike. I know you was talking up Dogboe pretty good before the fight, and I was with you. But I think we made a mistake on him. And the reason I say that is because the beating he took, that's going to be hard to recover from. It's not the fact that he lost, but it's the way he took a beating.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, they should have stopped it. If you want this young fighter career to keep going forward, you don't let him take a beating like that. And I just want to know what the panel thinks about. Well, do you guys agree that beating may have been a little too severe for him to get on the track to come back? Because, you know, or will he just be like a journeyman fighter from this point forward? That's the first question. And the next thing is about Lomachenko. One thing I know, and I'm a Lomachenko fan, in particularly his father, to me, is showing to be one of the greatest trainers out there. I mean, and the reason I'm saying that, he has 3 world champions behind his training right now. We have to give some credit to that. But I do think Tank Davis will be the answer for Lomachenko from what I saw against Pedraza. I think Tank Davis is just too fast and too powerful. And if Pedraza was able to land, he was able to land, but we know Pedraza doesn't really have any power. So now does the panel agree that now that we've seen him fight Pedraza at the stage he is now, let's not talk about throwing the right hand. Let's not make no excuses, because they don't make no excuses for Wilder. Wilder have a broke arm or whatever it can be. Oh, he talking about he got. Let's not make no excuses then. He's in the fight. Whether he do the right hand or not shouldn't matter. But we have to say right now, if they were to fight within the next 3 months or so, just hypothetically, who would you pick to win? Tank Davis, based on what you've seen Tank Davis do? And not necessarily against Pedraza, but that's the fighter they have in common. And what you saw Lomachenko do last night. I was not overly impressed with Lomachenko. And I'm a Lomachenko fan. I didn't expect Pedraza to stay in there over 7 rounds. Now, whether his arm is hurting him or not, that doesn't have anything to do with it. Because now when we talk about Deontay Wilder, if you say his arm was hurting, you're making excuses. You're making this. You're making that. Well, just what's your...
Look here, if he fight Tank Davis in the next 3 months, I got Lomachenko, because Tank Davis has not been active right now. But if Tank gets a fight back, maybe 2, and gets active again, I got Tank Davis. And going back to your first question about Dogboe, he is not a journeyman. I do kind of agree that he took a little bit too much of a beating, but his father always told him that this is his prophecy. It's already written. This is his destiny. And if you really believe that, then you don't quit or look for a way out during the fight. And he didn't. He stayed in there, took his beating like a man, and hopefully this doesn't take years off of his career, but it might. Go here, somebody else.
I think Dogboe could easily bounce back from this. He's young enough. He's talented enough. Let's not forget he does have an amateur pedigree. He just needs to change trainers. He just needs a change of an environment and scenery. All young fighters go through that, especially young prospects, young champions. Like every single person you can think of has basically switched trainers at one point or another. It's something that you need to do, especially when you're transitioning from an amateur pro level to a championship elite level. There is a difference in training and in a mentality and in training camps. I would love to see if Dogboe can go down to 118. He weighed in about 120 pounds for this fight, 2 pounds under the weight limit. I think 118 is completely possible. Plus, that division still has tons of names like Nonito Donaire, Ryan Burnett, Zalon Tete, Inoue, and others. Plus, with the World Boxing Super Series maybe falling apart, he could easily bounce back in that division potentially if that happens. Dogboe should be fine. I think he's going to be okay. You know, he fought a guy we did not know who was good. That happens all the time in the sport, especially with undefeated Mexican fighters. They either sink or swim, and this one swam.
Yeah, I think I'll piggyback. I just think that maybe this fight might have been maybe overlooked. There was a lot of hype in this fight. Obviously, it felt like it was going to be a showcase. And, you know, I don't know if it's an excuse or not, but, you know, you can kind of get that vibe that they probably were overestimating, overlooking, and they were looking at their own work. So if they go back, re-strategize, do a right build of Dogboe, there's always a potential. But that's where you're going to see if his opponent that he lost to is really that great, or is Dogboe overrated. So we'll have to see after that point. And as well as the Lomachenko and Gervonta Tank Davis, look, that's just a stylistic different type of fight between those two guys. I know Pedraza has been knocked out by Tank, but I wasn't surprised this went the distance. Me and Matt was talking about it. We were talking about how hard Tank had to hit Pedraza. And, you know, different times fighters show up. Maybe Pedraza was a better Pedraza now than he was then. Pedraza himself claimed that he felt that, you know, Lomachenko was better, regardless of what we saw, what we think. So at that point, you know, Tank needs to come back. He needs to get his fights. And this is a fight I want to see. It's a fight we all want to see. So I'm not going to go take a pick of a fighter right now. We'll just have to just see where these fighters end up later.
Fuck mad I didn't get money on that plus 200, bro.
You should be, because I told you to take it numerous times on the show. On top of that, just to address
already.
just do a add to what Ron and Mike have been saying about Pedraza. Pedraza is also another weight class. Like, I know we haven't really discussed it, but that extra 5 pounds of not cutting weight could add to his durability, not being as weight drained, you know, not being as dehydrated.
Imagine what it do for Tank though. Tank been known to fucking struggle to make 130.
Absolutely, you were 100% correct on that.
Yeah, but that's
I'm talking about Pedraza's durability. That's what I'm talking about.
That was the exact excuse for Pedraza. He could not make the weight, but the Tank fight, the money was so big, he stood there. He was gonna move up.
So I think that is a factor we really don't talk about, because we obviously cannot quantify it really. There's no data we can point to and say, yep, that's empirical evidence that this point is true. But knowing enough of combat sports history and how things are done, if you're cutting too much weight, it's harder to take a punch. That's just a fact.
Definitely.
I agree. And one thing that people should know, if you're boxing, if you're coming up boxing, when you try to cut weight, the last little bit weight you cut, the fluid that drains off normally comes from around your brain. And that's
but I'll add. Oh, sorry, I thought you were.
I'm just saying, and we all know that the brain is not meant to hit, and it needs all the fluid that it can get. So don't try to go through too much weight cutting.
So what I'll add is I disagree with some of you. I think that Dogboe, we're gonna have to see what is left. This could have been as easily as bad a beating as Ruslan and Bradley. And yeah, Bradley went on to do semi-good things after that, but he needed some time. You know, his speech was slurred. And
was this as bad as that? Because Bradley was severely hurt in that fight. I think it was dropped a couple times in that fight. Like, I think
Yeah, you're right. I mean, Bradley did, but he went down more like on the knee. But I mean, look, I just see Dogboe swelling.
And how old was Bradley compared to Dogboe now?
Yeah, Bradley was much older. I would say that's more of a factor of Dogboe has more time and more youth on his side to bounce back from that beating.
You're correct. I double checked. He's only 24, so there's a huge possibility he could bounce back. But that was a tough beating.
It was. I don't get me wrong. It was, but
and you go through his resume, man. I mean, look, he just overperformed. He's an overachiever. He wasn't meant to beat Jesse Magdaleno. You guys say he was even down on the cards. You go through his resume, that dude's never been in with anything like anybody. Like, you know, I mean, his last, let's say, 5 fights have been his toughest fights, you know, and that's only because the amount of fights that the opposition has had, but, you know, we don't really know them.
I slightly disagree, but I'm not going to argue it too much.
I mean, look, let's be honest. A lot of the Dogboe hype came with the knockouts, beating Magdaleno, and the no-ho chant. They did very great with that. They even started a challenge with it, you know, social media. So, you know, I do feel like they possibly, maybe Dogboe's team have overstepped a little bit too much, and they should have still had that mentality like we didn't make it. Because, you know, being on ESPN heavily, Lomachenko card, getting all the attention, without truly defending the belt with a great opposition, you know, there's more than just getting the belt, but defending the belt against a great opposition. And I think this was an opportunity that maybe if this fighter was as great as he is, who could potentially be, maybe if he did beat him, maybe he does win a world champion elsewhere. But now he gave that opportunity now that he's on the comeback trail, and now the opponent is the champion. So, you know, that's when you need to beat these guys, because you never know what they could be. Pedraza was beaten by Tank, but look what he did. So all these fighters who get a championship belt, please just make sure that these up and coming fights really take it serious, really take the same approach, because Dogboe is a victim of that.
Bro, honestly, so Dogboe don't come back. Fluke City for me.
Honestly, I think Dogboe did take a beating, but being 24 and being let's go back. When I believe that they overlooked this fight, because before this fight, Dogboe was doing media over in the fucking UK. I was seeing little videos pop up on my YouTube with him being at Sky Sports, with him doing different shit like that. So I just think that he overlooked it, and maybe was feeding into himself a little bit too much, and he took a beating. Now let's see how he comes back from the beating that he took.
Also, credit to Top Rank. This is how powerful their machine is. Just keep in mind, like, they were able to make Shakur Stevenson a co-main event in 9 fights. Teofimo, you know, someone that's on the tip of our tongue in less than another 10 fights. Like, you know, all these guys, Michaela Mayer, you know, just everybody they got is kind of getting buzz. And Dogboe fell into that buzz. This shows you, when done right, ESPN could be a massive tool. Unfortunately, PBC wasn't able to do this. Top Rank is doing this to the best of their ability, and it's working for their fighters and their ratings. You know, this week we reported that this is the second highest, you know, for a boxing telecast on ESPN in however long. You know, so credit to Top Rank, you know, credit to his stable. I mean, shit, I'm pretty sure I am a victim of saying that they wouldn't even have a stable a couple of years ago because they was looking pretty thin. And now, look, all the young talent to talk about is coming from them. But good show. Good couple of fights. I know it was a slow weekend for some. Hopefully you enjoy the podcast more than you enjoyed the weekend of fights. And we brought, you know, some attention to certain guys. Maybe you go back and watch. I'm your host, Nestor Gibbs. Find me on Instagram and Twitter at NSGTO. And join me Monday through Friday for our 9 a.m. morning show. Remember to, you know, check us out here because, you know, we've been shut down.
And what he regret to tell you that the 9 a.m. show would be 2 o'clock in the UK, 6 o'clock in the West Coast, and like Mountain Time don't really matter because we don't give a fuck about Mountain Time. 8 o'clock Central, and follow me on IG at Gross1911 or on Twitter at Gross2312. And yeah, check out some more videos and some shit on the channel that's coming up. Hopefully, got some shit lined up this week. Been trying.
Ron.
Yeah, I got an interview scheduled Tuesday It looks like we're gonna do Wednesday, possibly 11 to 12 p.m. Maybe before 12. Before it's not cemented that we're gonna interview Mauricio Sulaiman. Just the time, he's got a busy schedule, so it's in between 10 to 12 p.m. a.m.
Yeah, I wanted to clarify if you meant PM or AM because that seems very late for an interview. But,
yeah, it's gonna be a.m. He's got like a banquet at 9 a.m. to 10, and then so we'll get him between 10 and 12.
Anyways, I'm Matt the Hipster Hunter. You can find me at Matt Hunter MCR. These fights were good this weekend. I mean, it was all right. Yeah, the big upset with Dogboe. Teofimo Lopez showed up. HBO had their last card, which is significant in some fashion. DAZN had something to offer, but let's not get anything twisted here. UFC 231, Max Holloway stole the fucking show. Everyone fucking knows it, okay? And Mixed Radio will be back.
I don't know who Max Holloway is, but I will say this since you brought up Stank FC. Yo, you seen that dude trying to fight Wilder? Let's do it. Let's go.
Who?
John Jones. Remember we talked about that in MMA chat. We don't need to talk about that.
He said he'll get his ass kicked for a paycheck.
It was a joke. It was, anyways.
Now it's a joke.
Yeah, John Jones don't want that.
Content about the UFC card, Mixed Comment Radio. It's currently called MCR Net. Don't ask me why. YouTube's been fucking up. I'm trying to fix it. Shout out to trying to make a personal account a brand account, and the fuckery that is. But anyway, I mean Matt Hunter MCR, MCR Net, Mixed Comment Radio, whatever it is. Peace.
Hey, does anybody have Oscar's number?
De La Hoya? Yeah,
De
let me,
La
I got
Hoya.
Mike, you tripping.
I'm just asking. I mean, I know Ness bump elbows with some everybody. I'm just saying. I mean, got a big week coming up. It'd be nice to get him on the show. So everybody go to Oscars.
You probably would have gotten Oscar if you would have, been in communication in the little WhatsApp Golden Boy group that I got going on.
I'm not in the Golden Boy. I'm in the boxing voice.
You are.
And Mike, what you doing? But either or, my final thoughts. Like I said on the HBO thing, farewell. All good things come to an end, and hopefully these fighters that were on HBO and stuff can find a good home. We can get these good fights. Never good. Okay, but either or. Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao's, the Kelly Pavliks, Barreras, all the Arturo Gattis, Mickey Wards, Paul Williams, Lennox Lewis, like so many fights. So please just,
you understand the Ward Gotti was like Dogboe, Magdaleno.
Yo, I love
in terms of, whoa,
I'm totally wrong.
Let me finish my final thought, all right?
Because those guys
all these great friends. Hey, Ness.
Shout out John O'Carroll.
Mike. Either or, all you guys, man, you guys already know, man. You guys have these great fights on HBO. Do yourself a favor, go to the YouTube, listen to that anthem, pull up one of your favorite fights. It's no longer, anymore. But until then,
your favorite fight.
My favorite fight?
HBO favorite fight.
Too many to name, man.
Give me one. Give me one then.
Yo, that's like when you say like, hey, I'm a big fan of this musical artist, and you say, okay, name a song.
Okay, easy. Or, no, I could run. Oh, no, listen. Easy. Morales, Barrera series. We got the Pacquiao Marquez, Mickey Ward, Turagati, Felix Trinidad, Bernard Hopkins, Felix Trinidad, and Vargas. Shane Mosley, Oscar De La Hoya's. Obviously, thanks to TBV, we went to the Gennady Golovkin Canelo rematch. Lewis and Klitschko, Roy Jones, okay. Antonio Tarver knocking out Roy Jones, Bernard Hopkins,
Mayweather, Ortiz, just
Lennox
because
Lewis, Mike Tyson,
Larry Merchant said,
Paul
"I'll
Williams,
kick your ass."
Martinez, The Rock man knocking out Lennox Lewis, and he comes back. Kelly Pavlik knocking out Jermain Taylor, Antonio Marco Barrera.
Man, you watched the episode last night. You just caught about the episode last
Bernal
night.
Whitaker, Floyd Mayweather
versus Kevin Kelly. Come on,
Martinez.
Hey, you saw how he got mad right there because I threw that at him.
Yeah, I did. I saw that.
What about Larry Merchant pushing that guy the fuck off of him? Get the fuck out of here.
Any Larry Merchant
seconds. Look, and there was fights before I didn't even get to see, like the Larry Holmes, the Mike Tyson, Michael Spinks, Riddick Bowe, Evander Holyfield, the close circuits of the Ali Foreman, the Sugar Ray Leonards and Marvin Hagler, Aaron Pryor, Alexis Arguello, Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson. I can go for days. All right, Matt.
Woo.
I know my artists.
You can
I know
find-
mine.
you
I
can
know my
find it-
boxing.
You can find all those HBO fights currently on ESPN.
I know mine. Okay, the Floyd Mayweather, Ricky Hatton, man. I know my boxing. I can do this all day. I can name them all.
We were alive for that one. We all saw it.
Is Ron still naming fights?
Yeah.
To
I
this
can do
day.
this. I
To this
breathe it.
day.
To this day. I can name these fights to this day, man. I live and breathe this, man. But side note.
I love
Blessed era.
Yo, make the
Blessed era.
biggest up like one-sided fights.
Yo, but beside the point, Max Holloway, blessed era, it's here.
What the fuck is this?
It is what it is.
Mentioning,
It
dude.
is blessed era. It is what it is.
It's the blessed era, man. Don't hate.
Oh, 24/7s was great, man. That's what started all this. That 24/7, you know, those face-offs with Max Killerman and stuff. I missed that.
What, Mayweather?
Is Matt trying to secretly help the UFC get ratings by mentioning this weirdo's name on the
I
show?
can guarantee you that pay-per-view did more pay-per-view buy rates than I don't know about Wilder.
I was gonna say, are you sure about that? Come on now.
I never heard of them. Yo, we outie. Peace. Yo, tell a friend we on the backup channel because YouTube back in stank. Bye-bye.